Wolf Pack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here with the big day, Sunday, Week 17, Championship Week. We have arrived, Wolf Pack. Welcome on in. Let's get it going, baby. We have to get it right. It is the Championship Week. There is no margin for error. This is what dreams are made of. If you're here, it means you are here to get your questions answered or just to chill with your boy for one last time in 2023. Happy New Year's out there to all of you as well. Big New Year's Eve day today, but what better way to kick off 2024 than with a fantasy title with all the pride that comes with it, maybe a nice little prize pool as well. So please do come on in as you're getting in here. That thumbs up button, the likes, the shares, the retweets, all that great stuff really does truly help us grow. But get all your questions on in. I'm going to rip through. There's some big news and some stuff I woke up to. Well, I had to be a few minutes late today. That was surprising and had to adjust all the rankings. Those are all updated at rotostreetjournal.com. You can check that on out. But we're going to rip through all that news, get those questions piled on in. And again, thank you so much for spending your New Year's Eve, your Sunday morning, your championship day with me. I hope we come through big for you. So you have those titles. You can let your boy know. If so, cannot wait to see all the titles hoisted in 2024. Let's go, Wolfpack. Those 2023 titles on the line, starting with some quarterback news. Like I said, 10 minutes, we'll rip through this, and then the rest of the time is on to all of your championship day questions. So come on in, get those questions, get your coffee ready, and let's dive in. So at quarterback news, Brock Purdy is off the injury report. He's starting, as expected, top 5 quarterback against Washington. You could not ask for a better spot for your 49ers here in Week 17. You're going to go on to that title if you have it there. Other quarterback news, just some real quick notes are that Kyler Murray is questionable against the Eagles. Top matchup for quarterbacks, the number 2 in terms of points allowed to the position. So Kyler Murray would be in a great spot should he be in today. But ultimately, we do have to track that to the game time. It does seem likely that he's going to play. It's an illness, but it does seem like one that he will be playing through. So just check that note as we get closer to kickoff. Trevor Lawrence is going to be out. This does make products like Travis Etienne, like Calvin Ridley, a little bit riskier to start with CJ Beathard under center. And we know Etienne's been kind of struggling anyways. So let us know if you have Travis Etienne questions, Calvin Ridley questions. Other than that, you're probably not considering. I mean, Evan Ingram's a lock at tight end at this point, and Beathard does love him. His first read target share goes up with CJ Beathard. So Evan Ingram actually gets maybe even a little boost from this move, but everybody else does obviously fall without Trevor Lawrence there. Jacoby Brissett is questionable, and this actually does matter for 2 QB leagues. He was averaging over 4 points per drive. I saw Scott Barrett tweet this out. Now, I know you can't extrapolate that, but every drive he's been in, he's led a touchdown drive for the Commanders. So it was actually kind of exciting to see what Jacoby Brissett might do in the final start here for your fantasy season. But ultimately, he did suffer a hamstring injury in practice and likely will not be in. It was definitely part of a lot of DraftKings punt plans, but you got Tyrod Taylor at 4,600 out there in a bunch of leagues. Jared Stidham at 4,800 also out there in a bunch of leagues. Some places you can pivot, and Stidham is an option because Russell Wilson has been benched against the Chargers. It's a beautiful matchup, the most points allowed to quarterbacks. We've seen Stidham against the 49ers last year in his one spot start for the Raiders through 4 touchdowns. So it's not like this guy is up deep QB leagues. You're looking for a super flex. You lost Russ or something else. You could potentially pivot to Stidham. I do prefer Tyrod Taylor myself just a little bit more because you got a little mobility there, some deep threat against the defense, giving up the most deep plays on the year in the Los Angeles Rams. So I do like Tyrod Taylor quite a bit. I should say it the right way. But ultimately, I do also like Stidham. If you're in those 2 QB super flex leagues, you're desperate for a pivot, let me know, and we can kind of weigh through these options because we got a lot of people popping up today as potential super flexes. Last quarterback note is Mason Rudolph will be starting against the Seahawks. It does seem like a good news there for George Pickens, who had a great connection with Mason Rudolph. Hopefully you don't have to go to Mason Rudolph starting hell this week, though. Moving to the running back position, this is where some of the big news this morning came in, where I imagine a lot of our questions will be. Keep coming on in, Wolfpack. Keep piling on those questions. But please also consider, as we're getting there, that thumbs up button really does help us grow so much. If you don't mind hitting that, some new subs as we close out 2023. We'd love to have you join the channel. Week 17 running back news. Let's dive on in, though. Raheem Mostert leading off. The fact that he's going to be inactive today, pretty surprising. They seem pretty nonchalant in the injury report about Mostert, not overly concerned about him entering today. And here we are. He's no longer playing as you wake up. The guy that probably carried a lot of you today to your fantasy titles, certainly carried me to a bunch of championships myself. Now we got to pivot. What are we going to do? Now, the obvious boost here is Achane, who had 6,700 on DraftKings. Great play. When he has seen 9 or more touches, he averages 27.3 fantasy points per game. That jumps, you would have just 10 touches, 33.3 points per game. If you bump that to 12 touches, 38.3 10 fantasy points per game. So yes, I am getting at the fact that despite a tough matchup against the Baltimore Ravens here, Achane is a must play. He's a top 5 running back for me, as high of a ceiling as anybody not named Christian McCaffrey or Kyron Williams. Those two are the clear 2 top running backs of the day. And then you get to Achane, 6,700 DraftKings, top 5 in my running back rankings. I am in love with him today. If you don't, there's no way he's sitting on the waiver wire, right? So if you don't have both of the Dolphin running backs, someone who might actually be out there as a desperation pivot is Jeff Wilson. He's also only 4,100 on DraftKings today as well. You guys know me. The body pillow is sitting in my room. I love Jeff Wilson. I've always been a big guy on Jeff Wilson. Honestly, if he had been getting the Raheem Mostert role this whole year, I bet you he'd score 21 touchdowns in this offense. So yes, I do think he's very touchdown viable. For those of you looking for like a Hail Mary touchdown prop for today, he's probably like plus 500. I think Jeff Wilson's a great spot to score a touchdown and not a horrible desperation plug-in for Raheem Mostert if you need to get there. So ultimately, I don't mind Jeff Wilson as a streamer today. That could be a big option for you. Josh Jacobs is doubtful. He's not going to play today, which means Zamir White, another top 20 spot for him. He's in a top 5 matchup against the Colts, who are giving up the 4th most points to running backs. And Zamir White coming off 145-yard days, coming off 77% of the snaps and workload. He has been every bit of a workhorse back. That's kind of seems what Antonio Pierce, the head coach there, wants to do. He's riding Jacobs, and now he's riding Zamir White. He's big into the players earn their time, and he's saying Zamir White has definitely earned it, and he's saying Zamir White himself, I cannot wait to show what I can do in yet another opportunity. And coming off of nearly 150 yards on the ground last time out, I think he's absolutely a smash spot, a great matchup today. Again, top 20 running back play. Very few guys I'd want in my lineup ahead of him at running back too. So let me know if you have a question on him. 5,100 on DraftKings as well. Everyone's going to be on that one. It's not sneaky. Zamir White is probably going to be the chalkiest running back today, but for good reason, deservedly so. I'm a big fan of him. Alvin Kamara was listed as questionable, but he is expected to play today, as is Isiah Pacheco, who cleared concussion protocol, expected to be in there against a Bengals team that is just abysmal to every position, including running back. So I think Pacheco right into your top 7 running backs today with no Jerick McKinnon. We've seen that workload bumped up as a receiver. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was also listed on the injury report with an illness, but he is also expected to play. He'll play second fiddle here, but we've also seen the team reluctant to give him the pass protection role, to give him the receiving routes. So I do think Pacheco, honestly, a 3-down back and a good matchup today. Really good sneaky DraftKings play as well. Not a lot of people building lineups around him, but most people will probably and deservedly go to Achane over him at a similar price point. Now, Zeke Elliott off the injury report, a good spot for him, been an absolute volume man, averaging well over 22 touches per game since taking over for Ramondre. So the volume is what you dream of. The player is not. The matchup, Bills is actually pretty decent. It's a decent matchup for running backs. They have not been great against backs this year in points allowed, but still, it's not the most inspiring play on a Patriots offense, despite a great bevy of volume coming at you. And then Kenneth Walker, our last note here at running back. He is expected to play with the shoulder injury. The team does have concerns, though, according to Adam Schefter. So just a little bit more caution there with Ken Walker, who was clearly dominating the snap share, the workload share last time out there with Zach Charbonnet. Let's keep ripping through here. Wolfpack, over 30 of you here, though. Would love to have a few more thumbs up buttons. But we are now moving on to the wide receiver position here at week 17. Wide receiver notes, Tyreek Hill off the injury report. He's going to be playing without Jalen Waddle. Almost every target's going to go to Tyreek Hill. I know the Ravens are a scary matchup on paper, but he is in an absolute smash plot. There's no better wide receiver to have today, as you guys already know. You don't need me to hype his praises. Jamar Chase, though, a little bit more questionable today. He's limited on Friday, and Adam Schefter today tweeting out that they are optimistic he's going to be able to give it a go. He's going to test it out on the morning today, but likely optimism that he will play today. And he did have some, as Schefter even pointed out, some strong words for that Kansas City secondary. So I imagine you can't talk that trash and then come in today and say, no, I'm not going to give it a go. I think he's going to play. He's going to be fired up. They're going to be fired up to shut him down after what he said, but we shall see. We've seen Jamar Chase in championship weeks before put up 60 points for fantasy. So I will absolutely go right back to the Jamar Chase. Well, he's a top 15 wide receiver for me. He's got to back up his words today. We'll see if he can. I would rather have Deebo Samuel, though. He's off the injury report. He's playing against the Commanders team, who runs more too high shell since Jack Del Rio got fired. It's a phenomenal phenomenal matchup. The fantasy points team was pointing that out, that they have it's matchup coverage that Deebo Samuel gets nearly a 40% first read target share against and has dominated. And they're also without their top two. I mean, Deebo Samuel will probably have 30 fantasy points today, as will Christian McCaffrey. Brandon Ayuk probably too. I don't know how you get away from any of your 49ers today. You shouldn't get away from any of them. It's just a matter of how big can they all get today. We shall see, but they are going to demolish this Washington team. Sean McVay says Puka Nacua is expected to play. No real worries there. He did pop up with a hip injury on Friday, a little tightness, didn't practice, but he is ready to go. And obviously, Puka Nacua in a great spot against the Giants. You're not even thinking about benching him, I don't think. Let me know if you have any questions on him. Michael Pittman, a lot of worries about him in the concussion. Can I play him after all this missed time? He's ready to go. He feels great, according to the reports. And this is another one where the Raiders aren't the best of matchups for wide receivers, but for wide receiver ones, they actually allow the highest first read target share to wide receiver ones on the year. So I think Michael Pittman right back into lineups, no hesitation at all. Could be yet another double-digit catch, double-digit target type of day for him. DK Metcalf expected to play against the Steelers. Solid spot. They are. It depends if they shadow there with Porter, but ultimately a decent spot either way for DK Metcalf after a couple touchdown days in a row, probably in your lineups, but even more so in your lineups is definitely Nico Collins off the injury report, playing against the Titans, who give up the second most points to outside receivers. CJ Stroud is back in action. I should have said that in the quarterback notes. He's a top 6 quarterback play for me. Nico Collins, a top 10 fringe wide receiver play as well. I would absolutely smash the start button here on Nico Collins this week. Let us know if you have questions related to him, but honestly, there's a very, very good chance I'm going to say Nico Collins. Keep that mailbag pounding up. We'll pack about 25 questions in there. We need some more. Let's go. Zay Flowers questionable for the week as well, but likely to play now. He's now seeing nearly 30% of the targets in the games without Mark Andrews. And a lot of them are of that low A-dot variety, but he's getting a lot done after the catch too. And he has a touchdown in 2 of his 3 games so far in the last 3 weeks. So I do like Zay Flowers quite a bit as a fringe top 20 guy. This week, Cortland Sutton is out. He's been Mr. Consistent all year as a touchdown scorer, but he will be out this week for Jarrett Stidham's start, as will Marvin Mims, not expected to play with a hamstring injury. Judy has an illness. I mean, this is a horrendous receiver room already banged up, and maybe an illness for Judy, but he is expected to play according to Adam Schefter. He is in line for 12, 15 targets maybe. And they have no one else to throw to other than maybe even Brandon Johnson. I know in your seasonal leagues, you're likely not having to pivot that deep, but I mean, I've seen 25-team league, like 32-team leagues, so maybe you got to go that deep. Brandon Johnson, actually not a bad streamer, though. He's 3,300 on DraftKings. I like him. Darius Slayton, 3,400. There's DJ Chark at 3,600. So there's a lot of viable, really cheap wide receiver punts today. It's about picking the right ones. And I do like Chark, then Slayton, and then I do really like Brandon Johnson. It's the reason we're talking about this in the first place. Last couple receiver notes here is Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer are out. Does that make, speaking of cheap wide receiver punts, Quentin Johnson is only 3,700. I'd rather go to the other guys I've talked about. The secondary for the Broncos is solid, and I just don't know that we can ever trust Quentin Johnson, at least not this season. I don't want to. So I would not personally go there. I'd go to any of those other guys I listed, including Brandon Johnson, ahead of Quentin. But hey, maybe it's a first-round talent. Maybe he gets the volume today. We shall see. Crazier things have happened. Last receiver notes here are all about the Packers. Jayden Reed is off the injury report. He will play, and it looks like he might be the last man standing here with no Christian Watson. He's doubtful. Dontavian Wicks is questionable, but was quoted as very limited on Friday. Does not sound optimistic here for him. So it should be the Jayden Reed show against a Minnesota team that absolutely can get bent over by wide receivers. So I like Jayden Reed quite a bit as a fringe top 20 guy in this week. The only tight end note that I have here is that Hunter Henry is questionable for week 17. He was having a monster game against the Chiefs with 66 yards and a TD and a half, but then took that bad hit. He had 3 straight top 4 games as a tight end. So honestly, if he's in here, Hunter Henry, you have to consider it. Him and Bailey Zappi did have a very, very nice rapport going there on Sunday. And there are a couple cornerback notes I just wanted to hit real quick for you. Darius Slay is not playing in week 17. They already are giving up the most points to wide receivers in the league by a wide margin. And Darius Slay being out certainly will not help that. So even with guys like Marquise Brown out, I should have mentioned that too. He's on the IR. Greg Dortch. Actually, you guys know me. I love Greg Dortch. 4,200 on DraftKings. Great price there for him. And honestly, one of my favorite punt receivers. I do prefer, if you're punting receiver today, DeMarcus Robinson's the first spot I go, but Greg Dortch not far behind him is my top 2 wide receiver Hail Mary plays. Let me know if you're desperate for a wide receiver Hail Mary. Those are the guys I would go to. And then Carlton Davis is out for the Tampa Bay secondary, which has been abysmal all year, and they're certainly that much worse without him. Alrighty, Wolfpack. That does, as far as I can see, wrap up all the news that I wanted to cover. Hopefully that helps guide some of the questions we're going to get. It is now on to all of your questions. As always, we do prioritize super chats. So if you want to support your boy for the new year, it'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. You can cut the line as well. If you want to say thank you for any help, that is so appreciated. Not expected, but always, always appreciated. It is first it's Friday, what? But no, it's Chip Day. We know my man Hemdog coming over from the England there. Chip Day, indeed. Let's get those titles, Wolfpack. One last thing, though, if you can't do the super chat, totally understand, but that thumbs up button really does help us get out to more people as we start to mow through this mailbag. Likes, shares, retweets, all that great stuff to help it build up. We usually have over 100 live people. We got about 60 of you here right now. You love to see it. We'll continue to climb those numbers with only 15 minutes in. That's actually pretty solid numbers here. You can help us continue to grow by getting those questions in, by hitting that thumbs up button, maybe some new subs today. We shall see. We'd love to have you for the long haul here. Giuseppe Russo, Wolf, my guy. Let's go. Big underdog, got the win. Let's do it. Do I start Mixon, Zamir White, or Devin Singletary? Half PPR. Very good question. I like all these guys. Singletary's definitely taken over that backfield. I think that Zamir White, honestly, might be the safest play. The Chiefs do present a decent run funnel there for Mixon, but I don't know how you get away from Zamir White today. And I'm double-checking my ranks. I do have Mixon quite a bit higher, but I do not fully buy that. I think I'd rather have Zamir White in my lineup today. I got this question on Twitter too, so I do need to, I'll make sure to update my rankings. That's why I love this show. You guys help me out. Back-to-back top 12 weeks, though, in standard leagues for Zamir White. And if you look at half PPR, he has ultimately been 16 and 15 fantasy points in these last 2 weeks. I think the Indianapolis matchup's too good to pass up. I'm going to go Zamir White here. I do like Joe Mixon's chances at a touchdown as well. But ultimately, I think I'm leaning Zamir White over him very slightly. It's a very tough one, Giuseppe. That's a close one indeed. But I have Zamir White right now, 21 in my rankings. And the more I look at it, I'm probably going to be bumping him up to 14. He's been top 12 running back in back-to-back weeks. And I think that's where he belongs at this point. So I'm going to go Zamir White of those guys just ahead of Joe Mixon as my running back 15 there. All righty, we got JJ. You lost Sutton. Do I start Noah Brown or Osborne? I think I would probably go Noah Brown either way, but especially in your situation when you already have JJ, you have Jaron Hall. Do you really want to? If it was Nick Mullins, we could really consider it. But with Jaron Hall at QB, such an unknown. Maybe this offense, maybe Kevin O'Connell's just the GOAT and everybody in this offense can throw for 400 yards and go nuts. Maybe. But I'd rather just have Noah Brown. You already saw him bend over this Titan teams just 2 weeks ago. Yes, without Nico Collins, but we've seen him get it done before, and he is the clear number 2 now, and he's gotten it done in that role before, even if Nico Collins is in, but Tank Dell has been out. So I think Noah Brown is absolutely the better play today, and that is where I would be leaning. Brandon Cadiz, what's going on? Made it to the championship. Let's go. Oh, no. I'm facing CeeDee Lamb in my I'm in 7 leagues. I made the championship in 3 out of 7. I wish I was more, but sadly, I was facing CD in 2 of those 3. So yeah, not a great way to start the action here. But hey, that's what you got to expect. Your opponent's going to have some big guns if you're in the championship. It's what you want. We got to overcome this mountain. And you have Browns D. Let's go. Me too. It sounds like Brandon. We're birds of a feather here, flying together. Let's see how this goes. PPR last flex spot. Addison or Osborne? I don't think so. Waller, CEH, Mike Wilson, or should I pick up Wicks, Dortch, or Clark? I'm guessing you meant Chark there, Brandon. I am leaning here with, I think I'm leaning for Dortch. Honestly, I don't want to go with Jaron Hall's number 2 or 3. I don't want to, maybe Waller. Honestly, he's in a really good spot. It's a great matchup there. The Rams are giving up the 3rd most points to tight ends. He seems like he's getting in there as the volume guy. I just honestly really like Dortch. Most points allowed to wide receivers. Anytime he's played over 60% of the snaps, he averages over 12 points per game. I think he's the best play here. I mean, Chark's the blow-up. If you really need that upside, like if CeeDee Lamb has you in a huge, huge hole, we either see 2 touchdowns and 90 yards from DJ Chark. So maybe you go with that, but I just still am hesitant to put anything with Bryce Young into my championship day lineup here. So I'm gonna go Greg Dortch as my favorite option there for you, Brandon. We do have a super chat. Thank you so much. A very generous super chat coming in from Aiden Ryder. Greatly appreciate you, man. So generous of you. You're the man. Thank you so much for the support of the show. That's so greatly appreciated. Obviously, you have to cut the line now, but thank you. Very humbling for New Year's heading into 2024. This is you guys really it goes so far. So thank you so much, Aiden. Need 2 for the flex PPR. Javonte, Noah Brown, Zamir, KJ, Shaheed, and Demario. A lot of interesting options here. Zamir's the lock. He's my favorite option by a long shot here of everything you've listed. Again, 20-ish touches in a top 5 matchup against the Colts. And we know it's Tony Pierce. He keeps talking about the guy earns his touches. They'll let him ride. That player mentality, wants to keep feeding his guys. I love it. So give me Zamir White all day as the first choice here. After him, it does get tricky because I really just like they're all pretty interesting options. The only ones I can just immediately cross out are KJ Osborne and Demario Douglas. I don't want to go to, again, Jaron Hall. Maybe he's the next coming and Kevin O'Connell is just the GOAT. Who knows? It's not where I want to go, and I certainly don't want a Patriots receiver when I have some decent other options. It comes down to, for me, Shaheed versus Noah Brown versus Javonte. I mean, huge upside for Shaheed today. No Carlton Davis. I did hear some report on, again, a Fantasy Points podcast, one of my favorites. I like to listen to their cashing points. They did talk about how the coverage shell that is mostly run by Tampa Bay is actually not good for Shaheed. It's more zone heavy, which he doesn't do great against. Either way, though, without Carlton Davis, with such a banged up secondary, I'm not going to look too into that. He's been so good without Michael Thomas. Great volume boost there. I really do like Shaheed, but I honestly think I'd go Noah Brown first. CJ Stroud back. We've already seen him dominate this Titans team before. I really like Noah Brown. It's just been a fantasy feast whenever CJ Stroud is in there for his top 2 wide receivers typically. So I'm going to lean KJ Osborne, Noah Brown. Javonte deserves some consideration, but who knows what this offense will be like with Stidham, and it's not a bad spot. It's a team that he scored a touchdown against just a couple weeks ago. So he's not in a horrible spot, but no real PPR upside, certainly not going to get any receiving work. And this offense could just be a complete and utter joke, Aiden. So I don't really want to go that route. He did have 17. He was the running back 12 against them, and that was half PPR. I think I'm going to stick with Zamir White, the clear top play here. And then Noah versus Shaheed, it kind of comes down to safer with Noah, more of a boom potential with Shaheed. I like them both, but I'm going to go Noah Brown myself as the second one in there. Thank you again so much, Aiden, for the super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. So helpful. And so greatly appreciate it again. All righty. We're going to Laid Back here coming in on X. Again, if you can't super chat, that's totally fine, but the thumbs up button would really, really help us out. The likes, the shares, the retweets, all that good stuff. Nearly 60 of you here. Let's get that number. The last one of 2023. Can we get it to over 100? We had 4 straight Sundays with over 100 live people. It's been awesome. It's been amazing. Been a great ride. It's such a great year. Laid Back. Let's go. Sit Kamara, Devonta, or Chase for Achane. Honestly, I'd sit all 3 of them. So I'd sit any of the 3. So now we got to pick out Laid Back. Which one should we sit? I feel like it's probably Chase. I get that he's probably the riskiest bench too. He's talking trash. We've seen him explode against the Chiefs before. If you wanted to sit Kamara, the lower of the ceilings here, I could totally see that too. I would, of these 3, I'd personally probably sit Chase. Tougher matchup, injury potential. It does make me a little worried. I'd hate to be like, yeah, sit Chase today and see another 60-point. I just keep hearkening back to 2 years ago where he just exploded against them. So it is so scary to ever bench Jamar Chase. But to me, he feels like he comes with the biggest risk. I mean, Kamara, though, I could see if it's full PPR especially. I mean, I guess Kamara gets boosted in full PPR too, but it's not like we've been seeing great games here Laid Back. 12, 14, and 6 out of Kamara. It's been okay. The floor's there. The touches are okay there. But I don't know. I don't feel great about Kamara. I certainly would rather have Achane at like running back spot than Kamara today. I have him higher by 5 spots now in my rankings. Devonta and Chase do come with a little more ceiling, but that's tricky. But yes, I get Achane in either way. Laid Back, yes. I think I'm actually leaning bench Kamara because I just cannot watch a Chase blow up happen. But with Browning though, it's with Browning. Bench Chase for Achane is how I would play that one. Bears or Ravens D asks SS. I mean, I think the Ravens have earned it at this point, like no bench ever type of mentality, given what they did to the 49ers. But I still really do like the Bears a lot today against Atlanta. Playing the matchups, I do actually think I'd go the Bears over Ravens, but really good, tough call there, SS. And then Sanders or Fairbairn at kicker. I would lean, I think Fairbairn. I think they're just going to move the ball at ease against the Titans defense today. And he had some big games earlier in the year, SS as well. All righty, and SS asking Pacheco or Flowers PPR. I'm going to lean Pacheco there. Future back role likely. They trust him much more in pass protection than CEH, it seems. So I'm gonna go Pacheco. A good matchup against Cincinnati as well. As much as I love Flowers too, in PPR, a lot of dink and dunk action there. I'm going Pacheco, a top 7 running back for me in my rankings this week. Hawks fan, Dejon Trey. Pick 2 is Zeke, Achane, Eckler, half PPR. Definitely Achane for me, and I'm going to go Zeke over Eckler. I don't want Eckler in my lineup. Best matchup for running backs. I get it. He had an okay day against Denver just a couple weeks ago. I get that as well. I don't want Eckler in my lineups in my championships this week. Maybe I'm just a burned and bitter fan here, but I'm going to go Zeke and Achane there. Pick 1, half PPR. Aaron Jones, Zamir White, or Devonta Smith. Comes down to I'm going to cross off Aaron Jones here and go to either White or Devonta Smith myself. I did hear a good stat today about how the coverage shells that Devonta Smith is facing, that the Eagles will be facing today against the Cardinals, they actually very well limit A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith typically eats in those type of setups. So I do like Devonta Smith today. I still think I'm going to go for those 20-plus carries for Zamir White in a top 10 matchup. They'd have to get down huge to abandon Zamir White, it seems. At this point, that defense is playing really solid these last few weeks. So I like Zamir White here. I'm going to keep running, especially in the half PPR setting. That's where I'm leaning. Lost Waddle and Mostert. Tough timing, Aaron, there. Not that Waddle's been crazy for you, but Mostert, 21 touchdowns, NFL high. Going against Brees and CD. Oof, not a great start to the week for you, Aaron. You're definitely going to need some upside. You're definitely going to need that lineup. That is tough stuff, man. Sorry to hear. Couple more for Hawks here. Adding just some like scared JWJ. Yeah, I think Jeff Wilson is definitely going to get involved, but I think this is where the championship style #1 seed on the line. They're going to have to get their playmakers in there. I think Achane gets the workload. I personally am not worried about it, but it's fair to bring him up. Absolutely, Hawks. I'm going Zeke and Achane myself. Zeke, Chandler, or James Cook. For Steve, I go James Cook. I know last week was a little sketchy. I know Fournette came in for some of the goal line work. Does make me nervous. It's tough to let's not forget 2 weeks ago, though, had over 30 fantasy points, middling matchup here against the Pats. Nothing too insane there, Steve, by any stretch of the imagination. Happy championship week to you, Yoso Tony. Let's get it, boys. Smash like. Indeed, please do consider smashing that like. About 50 here, which is great. I mean, more than we typically got at any time last year, but we're used to over 100 people here on our Sunday mornings. So please do consider liking, sharing, retweeting, all that great stuff. It would really, really help us out. You're absolutely right, Yoso Tony. Thank you so much, and happy championship week to you. Noah Brown or Tyler Lockett in PPR for Boston Billups. I'm leaning Noah Brown. Love CJ Stroud being back in the lineup. I know Nico Collins is back in there too, but I don't think it matters. We've seen him sustain 2+ receivers multiple times. I'm going with Noah Brown there, Boston Billups. So Tony asking, Tyrod or Howell for my QBT? I'm going Tyrod. I don't want to trust. I would go Brissett if he's in, honestly, over Tyrod, but I don't want to trust Howell at all. We've seen him just crumbling these last few weeks. Now you get San Fran, a ferocious front seven. No, thank you. Give me Tyrod Taylor. I've seen a bunch of good stats this week about how he's one of the better deep ball throwers, and the Rams let up some of the most deep yards in the league, the most big plays in the league, Tony. So give me Tyrod Taylor in that situation is where I'm leaning. Another super chat coming in. Thank you so much, Lucas Phillips. Very generous, $5. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, brother. Kamara or Zamir or Mixon. Also, I have Tyreek, DJ Moore, Rice, and Olave. Please, who do I bench? Really tough calls all around here, Lucas Phillips. You got to clearly, there's a reason why you're in the championship when you got a roster like this. I think I'm going to go Kamara of the running backs, especially if you get PPR points. If it's full PPR, it's a no-brainer. It's definitely Kamara. Half PPR, it does get closer between Zamir and Kamara for me. And Mixon's right in there. I mean, these are all like great RB2s to solid RB1 range. I'm going to go Kamara, though. I do think, the one time you bench him is when you're going to get those 2 touchdown Kamara days. He has been sketchy these last few weeks. I get it. Tampa Bay, not the best of matchups, but no Vita Vea. It's tough. It's tricky. I do lean Kamara. I think Zamir might honestly have a higher floor, but I'd have a hard time benching Kamara after how solid he's been all year. Good question, though. That's a really tough one. In terms of the wide receivers, I mean, Zamir getting 20 touches against the top 5 matchup. Tough to pass that up. And are we just overlooking Mixon and the fact that Browning has, targeted running backs 30% of the time since taking over as the starter? I mean, that should not be discounted. And Kansas City is a little bit of a run funnel defense. I'm worried about the 8 points last time out, though. So I guess I should be worried about Kamara. I mean, we look at Mixon, 27, 20, 14, and 8. He's been better than Kamara over the last 4 weeks. Zamir's been the best of the trio. Lucas, you got my head in the blender clear. I'm waffling as we go here. Which one do I actually want to have in my lineup today? I do feel like Zamir's the safest bet to get you 12 to 15. But then it's Zamir White, so is he really the safest? What are we talking about here? I think I'm going to go Kamara. I think I'm going to lock in Kamara there, particularly if you get any points for PPR. And if you don't get points for PPR, if it's a standard league, then I would go Zamir White. But most of you guys aren't doing that, I hope. And so you're not benching Tyreek with no Jalen Waddle. That's a lock. Let's get him off the list. I love Olave against a Tampa Bay defense. I know he's a little bit banged up. He says he's not 100%, but no one's 100% this time of the year. I'm a +4 ECR on him. I have him as a top 6 receiver. I'm in love with Olave today, so I'm not benching him either. Then it comes down to DJ Moore or Rashee Rice for me. Originally, I would probably have had DJ Moore higher, but he's facing AJ Terrell here. I mean, there is no Darnell Mooney, so all the targets are going to funnel his way, but I don't feel great about DJ Moore, whereas Rashee Rice just feels a little safer to me. Moore, could he blow up a little bit higher? Sure, but since his defense is just complete and utter trash, so I think I'm going to go with Rice over DJ Moore. I'm going to adjust my rankings as we go live here. I think I'm benching DJ Moore there. It's a tough call. They're all great, but Rice has just been too safe and steady, getting all those routes down the Kansas City offense. Really one of the only people that Pat Mahomes trusts here. So I like him. I'm bumping up Nico Collins in my rankings as we speak as well to wide receiver 13. I just feel great about him today. So yeah, I'm going to bench DJ Moore out of that. I'm going to go Kamara reluctantly over the other two. I love all of them. I wish you could have more in there. Great roster there, Lucas. Thank you so much again for the super chat. Happy New Year. Best of luck in your championship. I hope you get it down. Can't wait to see all the hopefully we get some tweets today, the Wolf Pack and all the titles that you guys have. But thank you again so much for your super chats, guys. It really, really goes a long way. It's so greatly appreciated. All righty. We left off with here Ben Madry. Achane or Puka at flex, just saw Mostert's out. I did say there's very few situations that bench either of them, and now you're putting them against each other for me. Ben, this is a really, really tough one. I think I am leaning Puka here, especially if you get full PPR. There is just a little bit more of a risk, in my opinion, that like maybe Jeff Wilson does get like 15 carries today, and Achane just sucks. That would blow. But again, I don't expect it, and I just want to reiterate: 9+ touches, 28 fantasy points per game; 10+ touches, 33 points per game; 12+ touches, 38 points per game here for Devon Achane. So like the upside's astronomical. You're benching a potential just week winner anytime he's on the field. We've seen a 50-point game out of the guy. So that is risky to me, but like you look at the matchups, these two are neck and neck. Puka's a weekly winner as well. And Puka gets the Giants, who are abysmal, who are absolutely terrible. And I did see another great stat that helps push this one over the edge for me, Ben, is because they're so blitz heavy, the Giants, Puka is like a 35 to 40% first read target share on blitzes. He kills it. He's absolutely that guy to go to on a blitz heavy defense. So I think Puka's just going to have one of those like 15 catch, like crazy days. So I am leaning Puka very, very slightly over Devon Achane there. Suntel Analytics, we saw that you did send a super chat. I'm looking for the question. I do not see it quite yet. Man Campanelli will keep his question pulled up there. So we'll look for the it says it's after the super chat here. So we got a few here. Let's go into that. Should I start Bijan? And then you also asked this. So let's like kind of weigh through some of these options. Mostert, and then we got we got a bunch of comments coming in here. So Santel is Mostert, Bijan, Zamir, Swift. Which one do I bench out of these? So Mostert's not playing, so that makes that easy for you. Santel Analytics. You go Bijan, Zamir, and Swift of those three, but it seems like you super chatted another one here. So let's do this one. Denver or Chicago D. I would go Chicago D. I know Denver does get Easton Stick. It seems like a great matchup, but the Bills didn't even capitalize on that. So it's not quite the safe play there. So I go Chicago D over the Denver D, which it looks like there's a few questions coming in on similar proposition. But I like the Bears D. They're rolling hot right now. Good matchup against Atlanta. Taylor Heineke loves to turn over the ball. So that's where I'm leaning there. Thank you, Suntel Analytics. I appreciate the super chat greatly. I hope we got to the right questions for you. But yeah, just they made this one easy for you. Mostert's not playing, so you can just skip that. Go Bijan, Zamir, and Swift. If you had to bench one of those three, I would bench Bijan But Mostert made that one easy for you. If I missed something else, my man Campanelli in the mod will double check it. Some more super chats. You guys are so generous today. Thank you so much. A bunch pouring in here. Happy New Year's. You guys are making my New Year's. Thank you so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated it. Nothing will make that New Year better than a fantasy title. Let's get it, Hemdog. I know you super chatted me, Hemdog. I owe you one from that Thursday debacle of the freaking internet there. Comcast, my God. But you guys aren't here for my Comcast complaints. Hemdog, Flacco, following Cooper news. That's tough. I stuck with him. I had him in my couple of my deeper leagues there. So you need a super flex from Tyrod, Levis, and Hall. Also need a flex from Godwin and Chandler. Thanks for everything, Wolf. Thank you so much for still coming back, for still super chatting your boy despite those mishaps on Thursday. Hemdog, you're the absolute man. Thank you so much for your support. I like Tyrod here. I do. I talked about it earlier, but most deep yardage allowed on the year, but especially the last 5 weeks, no team is giving up more points than the Los Angeles Rams. They're abysmal. If the deep ball, and Tyrod is a solid deep ball thrower here. So I like him. He has the biggest risk of getting hurt, or we've seen it so many times with him, but he's mobile. This is not a good secondary. I don't like Will Levis. I have no idea what Jaron Hall is. I don't want to put my fantasy titles on the line. At least we've seen Tyrod get to that. Like, he averages right around 17 to 18 fantasy points per start across his career. He's always been a pretty solid guy. He protects the ball well. So there's just more track record. There's more familiarity when you're in the weeds of this garbage. Will Levis does seem a little interesting because CJ Stroud's playing. That maybe makes him push it a bit more. What if we do get one of those 3 touchdown Will Levis days? I totally get that. Like, there's definitely more upside to Will Levis today than we typically would have because it's a great matchup for quarterbacks, and he has someone pushing him on the other side of the ball. So I like this spot for Will Levis. I just kind of like Tyrod today. I do. So I'm just my rankings here. I'm bumping Tyrod up, bumping Brissett down just because I don't think he's playing. I think I'm gonna go those guys. I'm bumping Levis up. Like, I have him at 30. That's too low. Because the more I talk about him, the more I recognize like there is some upside here. But I'm gonna go Tyrod Taylor there of these options there, Hemdog. And then from the flex, Godwin and Chandler. That's a tricky one. Because they're both kind of peaking right at the right time for you. So that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have that these guys are starting to take off at the right time. Is it full PPR, Hemdog? I can't remember what your settings are. I'm a little too low on Godwin in my rankings too. This is another one that's like pointing that out to me. 8, 21, and 11 points in the last 3. So I guess he's not like going nuts. That 21 points where he had the 12 targets, but it is 11, 12, and 10 targets the last 3 weeks. That is nice to see. A solid target share there for Godwin. And now he gets New Orleans, like we were talking about, with no Lattimore, a good spot, and certainly one of the best spots for slot receivers. So he's in a solid spot himself. How did Ty Chandler do last week with Madison back? Let me just double check that one. Just 8 points, only 8 carries. Got into the touchdown, but if he didn't score, he would have been abysmal. I'm gonna. It's a good matchup against Green Bay for Chandler as well, but I'm gonna go Godwin. I feel like that's just safer. It does not look like Chandler really, with Madison back, his role definitely took a hit last week. I don't think Madison had much himself, but it just in terms of snap share, only 2 carries for Madison for -1 yards. Classic. It's a good matchup too for Chandler, so that makes it even trickier. Gun to my head, though, I'm going Godwin over Chandler. I just feel like Chandler has a much bigger risk of completely disappearing, leaving you with nothing. Whereas Godwin, at minimum, you're going to get, it looks like 10 targets 3 straight weeks. I expect that to continue. So I'm going to go Godwin. I'm going to go Tyrod. Best of luck, Hemdog. I hope you take it down. Thank you again for your super chat. Aaron Cantu, thank you for your super chat, brother. Lost Mostert, Waddle up against Brees, CD. Oh yeah, I think you were on the earlier here. With I mentioned that one earlier. I think if you were coming in from X, I need 4 players, full PPR, so we need some upside here as well. It sounds like Chandler, Connor, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Higgins, and Dobbs. So let's cross Dobbs off. I know the guy can score touchdowns, but I mean, you got Higgins, Flowers, Reed. You got some real upside here. And so we need to bench just 2 of these guys. I've got to go Higgins in terms of ceiling. Chase being back does. I got to readjust the rankings to show that Chase is now back for Higgins, but he's had some huge weeks the last couple. So I feel like in terms of upside, you got to go with Higgins to try to throw a big punch. And maybe Chase doesn't play, and then you even got more upside there. So I start with Higgins. I do like Jaden Reed and Zay Flowers a lot, especially in full PPR. I think both those guys are going to be getting peppered today. So I like those two. And then Chandler versus Connor. I think I'm going to go Connor. I mean, he's running real hot. Eagles defense, obviously the worst of matchups. The game flow could be horrible for James Conner, but I mean, he's got 20 points in a couple straight weeks here. I'm going James Conner, I think. I had Chandler higher in the rankings too, but I don't know. Something doesn't feel right about Ty Chandler today. He had such a big week 2 weeks ago. The matchup is good here against Green Bay, but I don't know. It feels like a 1 week wonder to me, whereas James Conner for 3 straight weeks has been 17 plus fantasy points. Despite the tough matchup, I do think Conner has the best bet to keep it going. So I'm gonna go James Conner there for the other options. Thank you again so much. So again, I'm going for my 4 here: Connor, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, T. Higgins. I feel like I have the biggest ceilings here. If you wanted more safety, I think Chandler probably is a better bet for touches than like Jaden Reed. But I don't know. I'm just not feeling Chandler today myself. Despite the good matchup, I feel like Madison could get annoyingly involved. He only had 8 points last week. And if he didn't have that touchdown, he would have been at 2 points, I feel like I just need to go for the big swing there. Flowers, Reed, Higgins, Connor, for me, Aaron Cantu. Thank you so much for the super chat. Best of luck overcoming that mountain they have to climb today. Cooks or Achane, Noah Brown or Ridley. So Brandon Cooks played last night, Fantasy Football 101. You might mean James Cook, is what I'm guessing. And I actually do go Achane over James Cook very slightly. Running back 7, running back 5. So they're right there. Both top 10 plays. So you got a great backfield. But I'm going to go Achane. Again, just too much upside. 28 points when he sees at least 9 touches. I don't see any way he doesn't see 9+ touches today. Noah Brown or Ridley. I mean, we got Beathard at quarterback, right? So originally it would have been a no-brainer. Smash Ridley. Keep him in there. With Beathard, this does get a little tricky here. I have Ridley higher, but I'm bumping him down in the ranks the more I'm looking at it here. I think I still go Ridley. Like, Beathard's not the worst of the backups in the league. Yeah, I'm going to go Ridley. I could totally see why you'd want to go Noah Brown. If you do go Noah Brown, I don't blame you. He had that huge game against Tennessee just 2 weeks ago, but I think with Nico Collins back, he probably gets kicked back to the slot, and that's where they're actually decent, the Tennessee Titans. Bottom 5 matchup for slot receivers, top 2 matchup for outside receivers. So it really just depends on his alignment. Where is he playing today? I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is. They're really good at defending the middle of the field, whereas the outside receivers have been taking them to the woodshed. So I don't know where Noah Brown's lining up today, right? That's the tricky part. It's so close. I'm going to go Ridley, Achane, Fantasy Football 101. Best of luck making the right decision here. It looks like Finessa, you had a super chat. I'm not seeing the question. Campanelli, I don't know if you can find Fincia's super chat here. But that would be greatly, greatly appreciated because we got a super chat, but with no question attached to it. So, Fincia, we will look for that one in the mods there for you. And we'll get to that one as soon as we can. Lucas Phillips, man, thanks for the analysis, but can you please talk through why Kamara being sick is better? So I appreciate the double super chat. You can only start 2. Okay. So, I mean, Lucas, it's not a guarantee by any means that a sick Kamara is better than Mixon and or Zamir. It's more so the track record. And again, I don't know if it is a PPR league. So I think that's part of it is one in PPR. Like, you're getting low end wide receiver 2 numbers from just Kamara as a receiver all year. He's been such a heavy part of this offense. It's more so the consistency factor, but I get it. 6 points last week is kind of sketchy. So full PPR, though, let me just go through like Kamara's game logs. I think he's been a top 10 running back in well over half his games. So running back 9, 7, 10, 2, 4, 19, 10, 14, 2, 19, 14, 38. That's a pretty damn good track record, like top 20 in every single game this year for Alvin Kamara, other than last week. So I get the concerns because of last week, and now he's sick. And if your gut is telling you this man's trending the wrong way, I don't want to play him. I get that. I do look at that, again, the track record of top 20 in every single week, other than last week, all year, and top 10 for well over half of those. That's what I'm looking at here in a full PPR league, Lucas. But it sounds like your gut is like, I don't like Kamara. I mean, this is the running back 12, 14, and 15 in my rankings. So we're talking very, very closely ranked, all three of these guys. So it's not unjustified. It's not like Kamara is a must play by any means. For me, it comes down to the track record, and I do like that. I think because Tampa Bay not the best of matchup for running backs, but they give up so much receiving to just every position that kind of outweighs it for me. But hey, if you want to go Zamir and Mixon, this is me saying it's totally justifiable. If you're worried about the sickness, you're worried about just like him running out of gas here at the end of the year, Kamara, I totally see it. I honestly, he might have the lowest floor of all these guys. But the track record to me suggests the floor is solid, and I'm not overly concerned. It's tough, Lucas. I mean, the more I'm talking about it, my gut's kind of getting a little sicker about Kamara and his sickness right now. So I totally get why you're feeling that way. I can tell you want to play Mixon and Zamir. I would do that if I'm you. Die on your sword. That's going to be my final answer to all you guys. I know you're supporting me, so you want me to give you a final locked-in thing. You have a gut leaning. You have to go and die on your own sword is how I feel, Lucas. So I'm going to go – I don't know. I totally get it. I go Kamara and Zamir myself, and I bench Mixon here. But if you wanted to go Mixon over Kamara, I have no issue with that at all. But those are the ones I would go myself. And so, Fincia, let me see if Campanelli found your okay, so you found your question here. It's need to bench one full PPR, Pacheco, Rashee Rice, Puka Nacua, or Zamir White. Whew, tough benches all around here. I'm definitely playing Puka. I am probably playing Isiah Pacheco. Rice versus Zamir White in a full PPR. It might have to be Rashee Rice, as good as Zamir White's been, and you can lock the guy in right now for 20 plus carries against a top 4 matchup here. One of the best spots you could ask for. It's so tough to put him on the bench. Oh man. And then you got Rashee Rice coming off a 12 target day. I mean, 10-9, 10-9, 12 targets across his last few coming from Mahomes. Fincia, you got 4 great options. Honestly, I don't know that you can really go wrong here. Part of me just thinks Pacheco's getting in twice today, though. I just have a good feeling in my gut about Pacheco. So in a full PPR here, I think I'm going Puka. I'm going Pacheco, and I think I'm benching Rice, but I really don't want to. Oh, man, this is a tough one. Maybe I bench Zamir White and just worry about like if they get in a bad game flow situation. Fincy, great question. Really, really tough one there. Thank you so much for the super chat as well. Multiple super chats coming in. All right, back to the questions. We have a couple more super chats to get to. Thank you again, Fincia. Great tough options there. I think I benched Zamir White, though, because of the full PPR settings. Trying to decide for Dirt Bike Addict. Thank you so much. So much generosity, guys, but just want to say that one more time. You guys are being so generous today. Over 10 super chats already. Supporting your boy. Thank you so much. Happy New Year's to all of you guys. It's very, very appreciated. Let's get those titles today. Let's go, Dirt Bike Addict. All right, trying to decide between Higgins and Zamir. I had CD go last night, but also going against CMC and Kyron. Ooh, you're facing a juggernaut, baby. I like Higgins. Chase and Snead are out. I think it's a great analysis, Dirt Bike. I do think Chase is likely in, it seems. They're optimistic he's playing, in which case Higgins does still bring some ceiling. But to me, like, you already got a huge boom out of CD. You're probably not like the clear-cut like favorite, though, given that you're facing, CMC and Kyron might put up 60 combined against you, maybe more. So I get it's like, yeah, I want to play it safe, but I also know I have a absolute haymaker coming to my face later today. I get that. I think I'm going to go Zamir, though, especially because you started off well. If Chase and Snead are out, I'm with you, Dirt Bike. You fire up Higgins. I think he's a top 8 wide receiver play. Probably goes for 102 touchdowns. Like the upside would be astronomical if both of those guys are out. If either one is in, though, and it does seem, again, very likely Chase plays at minimum and Snead maybe too, especially if Chase is in, I got to go Zamir. Again, we're talking 20-ish touches against a bottom 4 run D, top 4 matchup for fantasy points allowed. it's a smash spot for Zamir. I mean, he had 145 yards, almost 20 fantasy, 15 fantasy points last week, and he didn't even score a touchdown. Like, you add one touchdown to that, we got a 20-point day, and he could have a 2-touchdown day here. Antonio Pierce is riding this guy. So I like going Zamir here in your situation, unless, again, Chase and Snead are out. Okay, in that case, then yeah, we can go Higgins. But otherwise, I'm going to go Zamir, Dirtbike Addict. Thank you again for the support. Really, really appreciate it. Suntel Analytics asking, if I have Chicago as my D, can I still play Bijan? What kind of game do you expect Bijan to have? So you're definitely on the Bijan question here. And it's totally fair. Should Bijan ever be a question? No. It shouldn't, because he's so damn talented. But it's Suntel because you've owned him all year. Arthur Smith is a complete and utter buffoon who I wish I could launch into 1,000 suns. I have Bijan as a top 13 running back. He's my running back 13 this week, so he's right on the fringe of being RB1. This is what you love: 18, 27, 11, 20. This is what you hate: 0 against Carolina, the top spot you could possibly ask for running back, and then 19 the next week. What do we do with that? It's so up or down. It's such a carousel. As soon as Arthur Smith decides to just bench him for Algier, it happens. Here's what I will say. What kind of game can we expect? So against Chicago, one thing that does really play into Bijan's favor is no team is giving up even close to as many adjusted receiving yards, points, everything. In terms of backs catching balls, Chicago is far and away allowing the most receiving production to running backs by a country mile, like 3 times more of the next closest. And Bijan is their lead pass catching back. I mean, he had 10 targets last week. So I think it carries over. I think we get at least 10 more targets from Bijan. I think we can have a really solid game here. The risk is just Arthur Smiths this, and he has a 2-point day. That's what sucks about Bijan is, like, the bones have been pretty good. It's still not like crazy 30-point ceiling or anything like that, which, again, he should have. He's so good. Every time you watch the man play, you know that he's got like a 30-point inside of him. But then you look at the floor, it is scary. I think he's going to have a good day because of the receiving production. I think we're going to get 10 targets, and we're going to get 7 to 8 catches, maybe 60-plus receiving yards, maybe a receiving touchdown. So especially if you get like full PPR, half PPR, you get some points for that stuff. There's a nice floor, I think. I can't say there's a nice floor because 0 points against Carolina, the second best matchup for running backs 2 weeks ago. Like, there is no floor because Arthur Smith is a complete and utter bonehead that I want to backhand. That's really the summary of this question is, if I could kick him in the nads, I would absolutely do it as fast as I could. And as hard as I could too. I want to go for a testicle pop there. My hatred for Arthur Smith is really coming through in this question, clearly, Suntel. Is that why you super chatted to get that hard hitting analysis? But again, I think the receiving production shall be there for Bijan. I think he's a good play, top 13 running back play. This week, Chicago D has been very solid in general, but giving up a ton of receiving production to backs makes Bijan definitely in consideration today. And I think you can play him with, obviously, the only reservations being not him, but Arthur Smith himself. And then we are wrapping up with a couple more. You guys are so generous today. Thank you again so much, Wolfpack. Oh, this is championship week. You guys are being Happy New Year's, everything. Like, you guys are coming through for your boy. Over 100 live now, too. They got 5 straight weeks of it on Sundays. Let's go, Wolfpack. Oh, you guys are the best. Full PPR, Mahomes or Stroud, Zamir or Connor for Anthony Romesberg. I'm going Stroud over Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes, I saw the crazy stat that Baker Mayfield has more fantasy points, more touchdowns, less interceptions than Pat Mahomes on the year. How nuts, absolutely insanity. I can't believe it. Mahomes does get Cincinnati, though. That is just an abysmal defense. So that makes me pause and question whether I fully want to do that. I mean, the guy has not had higher than a quarterback 16 finish in his last 4 weeks. 14, 15, 18, 18. The matchups haven't been there for Mahomes. It does feel like the perfect opportunity for like Mahomes to finally have a 5-touchdown day and just explode. You got the concussion concerns kind of with CJ Stroud, but if he's cleared, he's cleared. He's in, you know? I feel like if you bench in CJ Stroud, you could be missing out on like a 30-pointer. I don't have Mahomes higher than CJ Stroud in my rankings, and I'm going to adjust that. I'm going CJ Stroud, and I'm going to go Zamir White over Connor. The Eagles matchup tough for Connor. The game flow could be bad. I know I earlier was hyping Connor because, again, you can make the case for both of them. I just like Zamir White's matchup, the game flow better. I think, I really do. I mean, Connor's tough to sit. I get it. Like, he's been running so hot these last few weeks. And I've told a lot of people, I've been plus ECR on him for, multiple weeks in a row. 23, 18, 22, his last 4 weeks. Like, let's go. And that's the super chat about Bijan. A lot of receiving production last week to Connor. I'm going to go Zamir. I'm going to go Stroud there, Anthony, is how I'm feeling. Mike 32 also coming in with a nice, generous super chat. Thank you guys so much again for so many generous super chats today. You had CeeDee Lamb yesterday, so looking for a floor play. Do I stay off Chase today or go to Deontay or Noah Brown? I'm with you. I think even if Jamar plays, you got to play him. You're saying, though, you think he's limited even if he plays. So here's the deal, though. You don't talk that trash Jamar Chase talk this week and then come in and not play your full go, especially if Snead is out too. I mean, then that's an even bigger banger of a matchup here for Jamar Chase. I know you want floor. So, Mike, I guess your safest play probably is Noah Brown, but I mean, we've seen him have 0-point days. We've seen Deontay with Mason Rudolph not really show up at all. If Jamar plays, he's my guy. I know you don't need ceiling, but you could also just have him lay a 50-point hammer down and CD and him outscore your opponent combined. It's not like Deontay and Noah have these enormous floors that are so much worth. Like, I don't think either of them are locked to get to 10. If I felt like one was a lock to get to 10, okay, sure. And Noah would be the safest. So if you want the safe play, maybe Noah's the safest here, but I'm going Jamar Chase. Talking the trash, needs to back it up. Maybe I'm just having flashbacks to 2 years ago where he had that 50-point day in championship weeks, but so be it. I can't get it out of my head, and it could happen again today. Maybe not with Browning, probably not with Browning. I get it. But I'm playing Jamar if he's in. They're going to – I do not bench Jamar Chase myself. Thank you again for the super chat, Mike 32. So appreciated. 3 more super chats. Thank you guys so much today. Already at 15. You guys are the best. Who should I start? Zamir, Zeke, or Ty Chandler? Manny, I'm going Zamir White there. I think we're getting 20-plus carries no matter what. It's coming against a bottom 4 defense. The guy ran for 145 and not the best of matchups last Monday, the Chiefs. I'm going Zamir. All these guys are in good position to get touches. I think Chandler's the lowest floor. I think Zeke's got the highest floor, but probably the lowest ceiling in the Patriots offense. And Zamir, I know the receiving production hasn't been there, no catches, but he's run more routes than Abdullah. He's been in there in the pass setting. They trust him in protection. Pierce loves the guy. He's going to be in there in 75% of the snaps in a great matchup. I love Zamir White. That's how I feel about him this week. I'm playing him over both those guys, Manny. Omar Rios, thank you so much for the support. Standard. Singletary Zamir. Again, Zamir, especially in standard where those reception bonuses don't matter for you. You're just going for yards and touchdowns. Zamir's a great bet to get 100 yards and a touchdown today. Love him. I'm absolutely in love with him. Singletary, yeah, I love that he's taken over the backfield, and now we have CJ Stroud leading the charge. Should be a more productive team. I get it all. Good spot for him too. But I'm not passing up on 20-plus potential carries there. I'm all in on Zamir today. He's quickly becoming the player of the day. Zamir White, let's go. Tien Wen, thank you. Always here supporting your boy. Thank you so much. JSN or D Robinson, half PPR, and Houston or Las Vegas defense. So I'm going to go DeMarcus Robinson. I've got him for 3-4 straight weeks in a row, and he's got a touchdown in 4 straight against the Giants this week. Playing, even with Tutu Atwell back, was still an 80% plus route guy. I like DeMarcus Robinson a lot today, and I like JSN the player, obviously way more. But right now, I will note the Steelers are one of the top 3 matchups for slot receivers, so it is a great spot for JSN. But I'm riding the DeMarcus Robinson train. I feel good about it too. I'm going Robinson over JSN in the league myself. So Tien Wen, that's where I'm going. Houston or Las Vegas? I'm going to go Vegas. I was too low on the Vegas defense coming in today. I bumped them up. I wish I could have them all the way up at 10, but already the Jets played, so I can't have them above them. So I'm going to go with the Raiders defense over Houston on this one as well. I like both options there, but both in great spots. Oh, man. DJ coming in with a huge super chat, $20. Thank you so much, man. That is so greatly appreciated. Such a great support for your boy. Don't even question, just locked in for the finals. You are the man. Thanks for another season. Need some Minshew magic with Lawrence out. DJ, let's get those wins. Let's go, Minshew. I think this is a fine spot. That game has the ugly but sneaky shootout potential there. So I love it, man. Thank you so much for your generous super chat. Very, very greatly appreciated here. Let's go, Minshew magic. I think best of luck. I hope he gets you what you need here against the Raiders. I will say, don't make me second guess your Minshew magic here. You're already locked in, so I'm not going to make you second guess it, but maybe consider Tyrod Taylor. just slightly here. And a great matchup against the Rams. A little bit of plus mobility here. I'd stick with the Minshew Magic, though. Let's go, DJ. Thank you so much. What a generous super chat and $20. Happy New Year to everybody. Wow, that is so greatly appreciated, DJ. Thank you, man. Beverly, love the Beverly boys showing up for the other Beverly boys. Thank you, man. And Happy New Year to you and yours. Best of luck in your championship. You're always in the championship, DJ. An absolute wolf to the fullest, man. Good stuff indeed. Alrighty, so we left off. I think that wraps up our super chat so far. Wolfpack, thank you again so much for your generosity today. Happy New Year. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled questions here. We were at, I believe it was this one. How do you feel about Raiders D over Texans and Bears from Ben Madrid? But thank you again so much for your super chats, Wolfpack. And over 100 a year now. Love to see it. Please do consider that thumbs up button to help us continue to grow, to get up to more people. It really means the world with so many of you here. It's because your likes, your shares, your retweets, all that great stuff. Let's go. How do you feel about the Raiders D over Texans and Bears? I have the Bears the highest of this. Totally get the argument for the Raiders. Could totally see Minshew. I know, DJ, you're going for the Minshew magic. But part of the magic is he turns it over and a ton of scoring happens and it starts to get crazy. I think the Raiders D is an okay play. I do go the Bears the first myself. I have a better – I think that game, Atlanta versus Bears, feels low scoring. Taylor Heineke, we know, is a turnover machine from the past. So I do like the Bears the most here. But if your gut Ben is saying Raiders D, they're in the same tier, the same level of play there. So yeah, give me the Bears D myself. But yeah, if you wanted to go the other ones, you sure could. We got Black Superman coming in with a super chat, but no question attached. So I'll have my man Campanelli look out for that one, Black Superman, for your question. But no question yet attached to that one. So we will be on the lookout for that. So you can cut the line. Thank you so much, Black Superman, for the super chat. Daniel Carlisle, Happy PPR. Aaron Jones, James Conner, or Zamir White. I'm chasing floor life. I've already had Breeze. Oh, nice, Daniel. So you're in a good spot. And I think either way, you're going Zamir White. Whether you need floor, ceiling, I think he's got both of his options. But especially if you're just going for floor, lock him in for 18 to 20 carries plus. We know that's how Antonio Pierce rides. Loves this guy. He's praised him all week. And he's given him only good reason to praise him, Zamir White. He's just hustling down defenses right now. So I like Zamir White myself. Get a good top 4 matchup here against the Colts as well. So chasing floor, get that Zamir White 100-yard, probably touchdown day, locked in your lineups, Daniel. Aaron Jones, definitely not the floor play. Ceiling play, maybe, but Dylan could come in and eat stuff. He could get hurt at any point. James Conner gets the Eagles, definitely not the highest of floors. Nice ceiling because he's always scoring touchdowns, but against the Eagles, tough run D, easy secondary. Zamir White, definitely the safest play, in my opinion. Daniel Carlisle. And Black Superman, do we have the question? I don't know if Campanelli found that quite yet, but we're looking for a super chat question from Black Superman. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and see if I can find that, because again, we always want to keep our promises of letting you guys cut the line. It does not look like it's coming yet. So Black Superman, we're going to be on the lookout for your super chat here. Oh, here it is. All righty. I saw it just come in right as I was about to go away. Thank you again for the $5 super chats and the $20 from DJ. You guys are so generous today. Happy New Year, guys. All right, Black Superman, let's see what we got for you. Have to sit one in your flex. Taylor, White, Achane, or Kyron. So you're not sitting Kyron. No way. Don't even think about it. And Rashad White at this point has definitely earned the every week set and forget top 5 running back. It's crazy to even say that. I think Rashad White has reached that level, but he has, in my opinion. So it comes down to Taylor versus Achane, and that is my running back 5 and 6, Black Superman. It could not be any closer. I would be benching Taylor myself, though. The Raiders' run D was previously an amazing matchup for running backs. Over the top 5 weeks, they're the 3rd lowest yards per carry. They've really just, Antonio Pierce has just rallied that entire team. And as a defense, as everything, they've just really stepped up. So to me, Taylor, who just hasn't really had, he hasn't looked that good. 23 carries, 69 yards, 18 carries, 43 yards, 18 carries, 47. He just doesn't look that great. And the Colts running back 1 has been a hammer, smash it. It's always a great play. I'd rather go the upside of Achane. Again, 9+ carries, 28 points per game. 10+ carries, 33 points per game. 12+ carries, 38 points per game. And I think Achane is going to get peppered today. Maybe Jeff Wilson works in and has more work than Achane and pisses everybody off beyond all belief. But in a game where they could leap and get that number 1 seed, they're going to be going all the stops here. I'm going to go Achane, White, and Kyron Williams. I'm going to sit Jonathan Taylor. Again, 4 top 6 running backs. I don't know how you did it, Black Superman. Your team is stacked. I don't know that you can truly go wrong. I think all these options are good. But to me, like Taylor, Taylor could have 2 touchdowns today. Like it's a really tough call. This is, again, 4 top 6 running backs. For me, though, I do have Taylor the lowest. He's my 6. The other guys are Kyron number 2, Rachaad White number 3, Achane number 5 is how I rank these guys. Taylor versus Achane is really where I think you're boiling this one down to, with a little bit lower of a floor for Achane, but the ceiling is just astronomical, in my opinion, Black Superman. Thank you again for your super chat. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for all your generous super chats today. We're over almost at 20 super chats on the day. You guys are truly making the New Year's. What a way to kick it off. We haven't even started the football action yet. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Alrighty. So we left off here. We were at that's the one thing, the super chats gets me messed up my place. Me and that man Campanelli to keep helping me find my place here and click on these. So we were at how do you feel about the defense? And so that was Ben. So now we're at Michael. Running back 2 and 2 flex spots, 3 total. Zamir White, Brian Robinson, Dallas Goedert, CEH, Khalil Herbert, Greg Dortch, Wicks, and Tyler Algier. I did forget the fact that Brian Robinson is actually playing today. So let me just make sure I add him into the rankings as well. So I already have rankings up at RoastRejournal.com just for the heads up for all you guys. If you're waiting for your answer here, RoastRejournal.com is where my rankings are, but they are, I pushed through an update after the live stream. So right when I hang up, I update these as we talk, because sometimes I switch my answers based on what you guys are saying. So I'm going to put in Brian Robinson now, because that will help me figure out. I mean, this, again, a guy that was a top 12 running back for well over half the season, 3/4 of the season. So in this one, I'm definitely going Zamir White. That is the locked-in running back too. Now we're on to our flex here, Michael. I love Dortch today. I don't like CH with Pacheco playing. I don't really want to go to Robinson against a tough San Fran D coming off an injury. So I'm going to go Dortch, and I think I'm going to go Khalil Herbert for the next option. I mean, Wicks, maybe if he's in, very intriguing for the night game, but he might not play, and you're waiting out for the night game for Nick. Wicks, I don't think that's a great option. So it's tough. I do like Khalil Herbert the most. I don't love him today. Honestly, I'll toss this one out there to you too, Michael. Is Jeff Wilson on your waiver wire? I would go Jeff Wilson over all these running backs other than Zamir White. But I'd go Zamir White, Greg Dortch, and Khalil Herbert from these options is how I would rank them. But I honestly would toss out Jeff Wilson as a potential streamer myself. Bumping down Antonio Gibson with him back. All righty. Thank you, though, for the good question there. Fantasy Championship. Let's go, Captain Mac. How do you feel about Pacheco after being cleared? I love him, and I'm going to go him over McLaurin. Now, if Brissett was playing, McLaurin would really warrant some huge consideration here, because he's been great with Brissett. He loves the Peppers number ones. We saw it with Cooper last year. It's a narrative that is believable, in my opinion. But I go Pacheco. I mean, top 7 running back for me this week, since he's a great matchup. They're terrible against every position, including running backs. I think Pacheco goes for 2 touchdowns today. I'm a huge Pacheco fan, so I'm going Pacheco there. Sad J. Cutler, standard. Pick 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex spot out of White, Barkley, Singletary, White. So 2 Whites. You got a stacked team here, Sad J. Cutler. Let's go. I'm going it's standard, though. What the hell? What are you doing in standard leagues? I'm going to go White and Zamir for the 2 running backs. I'm going Puka and Puka Olave for the receivers. And then Nico versus Ayuk is very, very tough for the flex spot. But so no Barkley, no Singletary. Man, those 4 receivers, I love them all. I have a hard time benching any of them. I think, gun to my head, I'm going to go Puka. I think it's a Debo day, so I think I'm going to go Nico, Puka, and Olave, but man, is that close right there. Very, very tough situation indeed. We do have a super chat coming in here for another one from Black Superman. Thank you so much. Double super chats today. Greatly appreciate your support. Number 2 wide receiver. Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley, or Rashid Shaheed. The roster set. Thank you for all your help. Thank you so much for your support of the show, Black Superman. This is a tough one because it used to be Diggs. Don't ask questions about Diggs. He's a lock button and just play him. It was the safest, easiest option here. I actually kind of like T. Higgins here. Now, if Chase plays, it gets a little tougher because Higgins is a smash without Chase. With Chase, but it's a banged up Chase, right? So it's like how much is he going to eat into it? But it's Diggs. Like, do you really bench Diggs? But Chase, 22, 25 points in his last 2 games. I can't bench that, right? I'm playing T. Higgins there. I don't want Beathard, anything tied to Beathard. And I love Shaheed's blow-up potential here. I totally get the play there, but I think T. Higgins is much stronger play, in my opinion, there than Shaheed. Shaheed definitely has the blow-up. He could outscore all these guys. I love Shaheed. I love the matchup against Tampa Bay. I love it all. I'm going to go T. Higgins there. I have Stephon Diggs. 6, 9, and 8 PPR points in his last 3 games. I don't know what's happening. He always destroys the Patriots. What a great day for a coming out party. He always destroys my Pats. But I'm going to go T. Higgins. I love T. Higgins, even with Chase in there, but 22 and 25 points his last few. He's really starting to cook. So that's where I lean, is T. Higgins, Black Superman. Best of luck. Again, thank you for the double super chats, $10 today. So greatly appreciate your support. Trey McBride or Chandler for the flex for Tianyuan. I'm just not on Chandler today. I don't know what it is. And so that's famous last words. It's probably when he comes and smashes me here is Ty Chandler, but I'm not into it today. I'm going to go Trey McBride. I love Trey McBride. He's always an absolute beast. Number 1 wide receiver by a mile here. Especially with, again, no Marquise Brown. So, all the volume in the world going to Trey McBride. 9, 7, 9, 9, 11, 8 targets in his last 5, 21, 9, 13, 23, 29 points. It's like, great. I love that. I don't like Chandler getting 8 points last week and 1 touchdown. Like, if he didn't have the touchdown, 2 points, we probably wouldn't even be considering him. He bailed himself out with a touchdown last week. Madison could randomly just get 5, 10 carries and eat into the workload. That's not that great anyways. It's not been a great backfield for production. The matchup's good against Green Bay. If it was a tough matchup, it'd be a no-brainer. We don't even think about it. The matchup against Green Bay does give you pause. It's a good play for running backs for sure. I'm leaning Trey McBride, though. I'm not benching that guy. He's my number 3 tight end of the week. I think he's an absolute monster. So I'm going Trey McBride there. Tien, thank you again. Double super chats for you too. Really, really appreciate it. Over 20 super chats already, Wolfpack. So greatly appreciated all the support from you guys. We left off with Sad J. Cutler and Michael. So we are at Zamir White or Aaron Jones here. For Andrew Pilch. We got over 140 here now live. Love to see it. Thank you again so much. If you do consider hitting that thumbs up button, it would really, really help your boy out. And please do consider subscribing to the channel. Seeing a lot of new names here from X, from YouTube. Love to see it on X, at Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I am at Road Street Wolf. Would love you to come and sub and hit me up. I always am tweeting out some good stuff for you guys. Would love you there. And we'd love to keep growing that YouTube channel. We're pushing for 4K. Probably not going to get it this year, sadly. But who knows? Over 150 here. Maybe you can all push us over the edge and make us hit that goal of 4K for the season. We'd love to see it. But either way, thank you so much for spending your New Year's Eve morning with me here. Let's continue plowing forward to get those fantasy championships. Put that thumbs up button, the likes, the subs, the retweets, the at Road Street Wolf, RoadStreetJournal.com's all content. Let's continue forward now. Andrew Pilch after that speech for you guys. Zamir or Aaron Jones? I'm going Zamir White. Definitely over him and definitely over including Smitty as well. I don't even know who you mean by Smitty, but probably Zamir White, a top 14 running back for me this week. Enston, need to bench one. DJ Moore, Pacheco, or Eckler. I'm benching Eckler. Not trusting him this week despite the great matchup. Not going there. Titan, pick 3, full PPR. Evans, Olave, Derrick Henry, Rashee Rice, and Javonte Williams. I'm not going Javonte. I like all these other, especially in full PPR. That just hurts him. Like Olave, like Evans, no brainer. And I think I'm going to go Rashee Rice over Derrick Henry. There's a real chance Henry just goes bananas today, but there's a real chance last time they faced the Texans, he had like 2 points. So I think the lowest floors is Derrick Henry and Javonte, and especially in full PPR. I'm just going to go with 3 receivers there. Titan CW. What's up? Let's plant some trees. Great to see you, brother. Aaron Cantu. I think we hit this one earlier with the super chat. Thank you again so much. Just as a reminder, it's James Conner, Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, and Higgins for the upside play for me. Zamir White, Aaron Jones, or Smitty for the flex from Toxic Sandwich. Toxic Sandwich. Don't take a bite of that one. I'm going Zamir White. I don't know who you mean by Smitty. I probably should, but I don't. So maybe I'd change my answer, but I love Zamir White today. I'm definitely going him over Aaron Jones, and I don't think there's a Smith that I'm in on that I'm not thinking of. Smith, yeah, I don't know who Smitty is, so sorry. Falcons for Boston Billups. Falcons, Ravens, or Colts D. I'm going. I like the Colts. I do. I know last week was a disappointment, but I still think very opportunistic. Still could turn over Aiden O'Connell, get a pick six type of situation. I think I'm leaning Colts. John Toel. Oh, we got a super chat here coming in. So, John, you're going to have to wait. And we're going to go to Mr. Tyler J. Thank you so much for your super chat, brother. I'm so generous of everybody today. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year's indeed. Pick 2 non-PPR. Higgins, McBride, DeMarcus. Also, Ravens or Bears. I mean, I love DeMarcus. I do. 4 touchdowns in 4 weeks, really elevating that role. I've always been a DeMarcus fan. Since it was the Chiefs and the Ravens, I played him a bunch. Like, I've always really liked DeMarcus Robinson. But that all being said, T. Higgins, back-to-back 20-plus point days. McBride, the anchor of that passing game. I'm going those two. As good as DeMarcus is like my favorite Hail Mary of the week. You don't need a Hail Mary when you have Higgins and McBride, right? Mr. Tyler J, I like him. I love it. It's crazy that I normally be like, why you even included DeMarcus in this question? You got 2 absolute studs in McBride and Higgins. Dumb question. DeMarcus has been that good. I like the player. I really do. So I get why you're listening to them together. But to me, I'm going McBride. I'm going Higgins. There's no need for the Hail Mary. And if there's somebody just to turn into a pumpkin out of nowhere, it could be DeMarcus. I do like him. I think he's a great Hail Mary play, but you don't need Hail Marys in your lineup, Mr. Tyler J. Ravens or Bears. Now that gets tricky. And I had been on just I'm not playing anybody against Miami. I don't want to play the Ravens. But then I saw what they did to the 49ers. I mean, dismantled them. 15 points against San Fran. They've had 6 or more points in every game since week 2. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but let's look at all their games since week 6. 11, 14, 6, 15, 14, 6, 15, 7, 9, 15. I like the Ravens today. I mean, they are just playing such good ball. They're at home against Miami. They can lock up the number 1 seed with a big win. It's not like Miami. If you look at points allowed to, they're right in the middle of the pack because Tua does turn the thing over. I like the Ravens. I'm going to go the Ravens over the Bears. I have as my 6th best defense of the week. I'm looking here, and I do have the Bears my 4th defense. Now, I'm going to change that. I'm going to bump the Bears down a little bit. And I have the Eagles too high, too. I have the Eagles against the Cardinals as my defense 5. I don't like that either. The Bears are my number 4 defense. I mean, the Ravens are my number 4 defense here. And I'm bumping them up. Deservedly so. I like the Ravens a lot today. I need to put them in more of my DraftKings lineups, clearly. I like the Bears a lot today, too, but give me them. I'm bumping the Eagles down. They couldn't even get done against the fucking Giants. Sorry for excuse my language there. Raiders now up to my 10 defense. I'm going to bump them ahead of Broncos, too. I'd feel better about the all righty. So defense update. I'm going Ravens, Bears, Chiefs. I'm going Jags over Colts. That was a sketchy game. Colts do have so much upside, though, but I'm going to go Jags over Colts. They're playing. They got a lot on the line, too. And then you got Raiders and Broncos rounding out my defensive rankings. So I'm going to go Ravens, and I'm going to go Higgins McBride there. Thank you so much, Mr. Tyler J, for the super chat. Boston mottos. Got to choose 3 with Jefferson, AJ, Rice, and Ayuk. You got some great options here, Boston. I feel like I have Rice the lowest. There's a lot to consider with all these guys, though. Jaron Hall, what's that mean for Jefferson? Definitely has to raise a few eyebrows. What is Jaron Hall? How's he going to be for the wide receivers? Is Kevin O'Connell just a complete genius and anybody can work his system? Or should we be concerned with Jefferson? I mean, it's fair questions. I certainly shouldn't have Jefferson as my number 2. They're also down their top 2 quarters. I do want Deebo Samuel above Jefferson, though, so I'm bumping him up. I think Deebo deserves to be my number 3 receiver, and he is now. A.J. Brown, they run 1 high coverage, the matchup he's facing against the Cardinals. I heard this one on the Fantasy Points podcast. The coverage they roll the most, and John Gannon, your old team, is very limiting to A.J., and it's actually fruitful for Devonta, but it's still A.J. He just needs 1 play. Still love the guy. It's not a great defense, even if the coverages aren't the best for him. I think I'm benching Rice here. It hurts because he's in a solid spot against Cincy. He's been lights out, 12 targets last week. 90% of the routes are higher in 3 straight. He's in a really good spot, but I mean, you got Jefferson, AJ, and Ayuk, and I'm not benching Ayuk against a Washington defense giving up by far the most big plays, most yards to wide receivers, down their top 2 corners, and they're already garbage. Like, I can't bench Brandon Ayuk today. So I guess Rice is the one I feel the lowest ceiling about. If you wanted to sit Jefferson because you're worried about Jaren Hall, I think it comes down to Jefferson versus Rice for me. But it's Justin Jefferson. It's your first overall pick. Like, I'm not benching him. So I'm benching Rice out of these Boston. They're all top 12 receivers. They're all wide receiver ones. This is the reason why you're in the championship. And ultimately, it probably won't matter because you have such great options. But yeah, I'm benching Ayuk out of these ones. Not Ayuk. I'm benching Rice. Sorry. I'm playing Ayuk, Jefferson, and AJ myself is how I would roll out my lineup. But stacked lineup indeed, Boston. Best of luck. Thank you again so much for the support, guys. Alrighty, back to the regular scheduled questions, if I'm not mistaken. Robert Weed did super chat, but Robert, I'm not seeing the question with it. So Campanelli, just let me know when that one comes in, and we will pull you back up, Robert Weed. Thank you again for the support. But the question is not there yet. All right, so we were on John Tule. Thanks again for the advice all year. Thank you, John, for being here all year. Need a flex, Warren, Singletary, or Flowers? I'm going to go Flowers there. Rolling right now. That game, they're going to need everybody that participate there against the Dolphins, lock up that 1 seed. And he had that one dud 2 weeks ago, but since Andrew's been out, 30% of the targets, just really ripping it. For the most part, I do not trust Warren at all. I don't trust that running back rotation. Not where I want to go. And Singletary definitely seems to have taken over the backfield, and Warren's definitely consideration. Comes down to Singletary versus Flowers for me. You could consider Singletary, but I like Flowers. He's just been working it right now. 23, 22, and 22. And so 3 of his last 4 games have been 20-plus points, and 1 dud mixed in there. I ride that. And that was the bad weather game too. So I'm going there, John. Sean Finn, pick 3 for a championship. Zamir White, Isiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice, Puka Nacua, full PPR. A lot of great options here. I'm going full PPR. I think I do bench White in this case. Got to go Puka. Got to go Rice. So then it comes down to the 2 running backs for me. White versus Pacheco. And I think there's a little more receiving upside to Pacheco. Both have 100-yard TD upside against the defenses they're facing. So I think there's a chance Pacheco just catches a few more, and there's a better chance of a touchdown for Pacheco as well. So I'm going to lean Zamir White myself there. All right, so we got again 2. I see you pointing, Campanelli. I also am not seeing any of the questions. All right, Robert Weed, here we go. Thank you. You caught him, Campanelli. Chandler, Achane, Singletary, White. Need to start 2 running backs. All righty. So I'm going Achane, and I'm guessing White is Rashad White, I think is the running, or is it? So it could be Zamir White or Rashad White. Either way, I'm going Achane and whichever White it is. I have Rashad, and I have Rashad clearly ahead of all the rest. And I have Zamir White at running back 14 ahead of Singletary and Achane. So I go Achane and I go White, whichever one it is you need. I just don't love Chandler. I know the matchup's great. The player I actually don't hate, but it's not a good running back offense. And I don't know what Jaren Hall is going to do despite the good matchup here. If he didn't get bailed out by a late touchdown, he had 2 points last week. I just don't like that. So give me Achane, give me Zamir White. Singletary obviously in a really nice spot with Stroud being back, with taking over the backfield. But what if Pierce gets goal line work out of nowhere? We've seen that before. Just the upside of Achane. Again, 9+ touches, 28 points per game. 10+ touches, 33 points per game. 12+ touches, 38 points per game. I'm not benching that. I can't. With no Mostert today, I'm putting that in. So Achane and whichever White you have. I like both Whites more. All righty. And then we had another super chat coming on in from Mark M without the question, but I believe Campanelli has found that one. Thank you guys so much again for your generous. Yeah, Mark M. Here we go. Ingram, Schultz, or Kraft at tight end. I'm going Evan Ingram. One of the only players that might actually be better with Beathard, because we've seen Ingram average nearly 40% first read targets with CJ Beathard. And the other options just aren't very inspiring to me in terms of Schultz. I actually don't hate Kraft, but tough matchup there as well for Schultz. Also, Baltimore, Vegas, Indy, Houston, or Rams. Like I said, I'm going Baltimore today. I'm just back in on Baltimore. 15 points hit San Fran's elite offense. This is a great defense, and Miami's down two of their biggest weapons. I think the game could shoot out, but I also could see the Baltimore pick six in. I'm going Baltimore. And then Eckler or Zamir White, Flowers or Hopkins. I'm going to go Zamir White over Eckler for sure. Not touching Eckler right now. He's done. He's toast. Even the Denver matchup, if there's any spot for Eckler to get it done, it's this. But Zamir White's also in the top 4 matchup. He's fresh and he's rolling. So give me Zamir White. And then Flowers or Hopkins. I'm going Flowers. 20-plus points in 3 of his last 4. They're going to need it against Miami today. He's 30% plus target share with Andrews out of the lineup. I'm going Flowers over Hopkins. 24 and 26 receiver. I have him very close, but I do have Flowers higher. So I'm going White. I'm going Flowers. I'm going Ingram, and I'm going Ravens for you. Thank you so much, Mark, for your super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. All the super chats. So many. We're at 26 of them coming in. Championship Day has people feeling generous. New Year's has people feeling generous. Whatever it is, you guys are awesome. Thank you so, so much for your support of your boy today. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's continue forward. Thomas C. Zamir White at Indy or D Swift versus Arizona. Full PPR. That is a tricky, tricky one here. I love Swift's matchup. I mean, Arizona's given up far and away the most points to running backs. White's definitely a better bet to get 20-plus touches. But I can't bench Swift against Arizona. He's a top 8 running back in my rankings. 20 carries last week. If you get 20 carries against Arizona, 18 the week before that, if he sees 15 to 20, which I imagine will continue, he's going to go bananas against Arizona. So I like Swift. I think the matchup's too good. As much as I like Zamir White, only 3 or 4 running backs below him, I'm going Swift. You can't bench a running back seeing 20-plus touches against Arizona. As annoying as the tush push is, that's the defense that can give up the 50-yard touchdown with ease, Thomas. Cool Nest Player. Thank you again so much, guys, for these super chats. You guys are awesome. Double flex league and can't start one. Can't start one? I don't know what you mean by that. But McCaffrey mix. Oh, so you had a bench one is guessing what you're saying of these great running backs. McCaffrey, Mixon, Swift, Achane, and Taylor. To me, I mentioned Mixon here. I love them all. But Mixon feels like I have him the lowest in the rankings. It has been the Chiefs have been getting run on lately. So he's not a bad play by any means. But I mean, these are 4 elite options. Achane probably has the lowest floor because if they do decide, let's ride Jeff Wilson instead. And I could see it happen. We've seen Mike McDaniel show loyalty to Wilson in the past. Certainly not impossible here. But I can't bench Achane ceiling. I've said it, 10,000 times already on the show, but 9-plus touches, 28 points per game. 10-plus touches, 33 points per game. 12-plus touches, 38 points per game, right? 50-point day mixed in there. So I can't bench him myself. I'm benching Mixon there. I'm playing McCaffrey, Swift against Arizona, too beautiful. Achane, too high of a ceiling. And then Taylor, no Moss, good matchup-ish, even though they've been much better lately. So, yeah, I'm going to go bench Mixon there, but I like them all. And then Goddard or Kmet, I'm going to go Goddard there. He's starting to roll. Kmet's banged up all week. Feels a little sketchy. Mitchell Chavez, great to see you, brother. Feels about Pittman, Collins, and Ayuk. A championship against my brother for the first time ever, Wolf. Predict to be very close. Let's go. Mitch, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Best of luck against your brother. We got to get this W. We got to get it right for you. And you got a really tough question for me. I love all of these guys this week. I think you really can't go wrong here. Mitch, I remember the last time you asked me a question, it was definitely fade whatever the Wolf says. So we shall see. I do have these guys ranked right now. Ayuk is the top. We get Washington defense, most points allowed to receivers, now down their top 2 corners. I don't know how it can get worse, but it can. It probably will. So I got to go Ayuk today. I can't not play Ayuk. Collins versus Pittman, man, that's a tough one. I love Pittman. I was talking about this one earlier today, Mitch, that the Raiders are actually not the best of matchups for receivers, but for wide receiver ones, they're allowing the highest first read rate. And the coverage they play, Pittman has been smashing. I learned that one on the Fantasy Points podcast. Love their show. And they do a ton about like the schematics about cover 2, cover 3, all that stuff. And whatever the coverage was that the Raiders run more than anybody, Michael Pittman smashes. And it allows a great kind of funnel to wide receiver ones. So I am leaning Ayuk and Pittman here. I mean, you got Collins facing a Titans team that gives up the second most outside receiver points in the league. Now he has CJ Stroud back, and CJ Stroud's number one receiver has been an absolute GOAT all year. So that's tough. I mean, their last time together, we had 191 yards and 9 catches for Nico Collins, his last time out there with CJ Stroud, like fully for a game. So yeah, I totally get why you don't want to bench him either. I would go Ayuk and Pittman myself. I have them ranked 9, 12, and 13. So it's really tough. Definitely whichever one you could go any of the three of two of these three. I would rank them again: Ayuk, then Pittman, then Collins. I love all three of them. I don't know if maybe you can play all three. Maybe you can get one of them in the flex too. I would like to get all these guys. They're all fringe top 12 wide receivers for me, but I rank them Ayuk, then Pittman, then Collins myself. I love all the options, Mitch. Virginia man, thank you so much. $10 super chat. Wow, so generous today, guys. Almost 30 super chats on the day. This is insane. You guys are awesome. Non-PPR, Hubbard, Zeke, Mixon, Metcalf, Jay Reed for the flex. No PPR points. That does certainly change some things because we're prioritizing yards and touchdowns in this type of situation. I'm not going to go Hubbard. I just, when you're prioritizing touchdowns, anything attached to Carolina is not great. That kind of is true for Zeke as well. But, I mean, he at least is like, if the Pats are going to score a touchdown, it's 99% chance going to be Zeke. DK's been on a little bit of a roll. 5 touchdowns in his last 4 weeks, 3 of them in one game against Dallas. But in standard leagues, 31-11, 8-12. Yeah, I like that. Good matchup against Pittsburgh today. I don't mind that. I love Reed's spot today. Minnesota giving up a lot of points to wide receivers. He's been a touchdown machine. 14, 15, 11, 2, 13, 11. I mean, really, really solid numbers. This is a good one, Virginia, man. I do think, so the 2 receivers definitely in play despite the non-PPR setting because they both scored touchdowns. Reed has a touchdown in 5 of his last 6 games, so he's in good play. Dare I say, though, I kind of like Mixon the most. I think he's been, the Chiefs defense has been getting run on like crazy. 24, 19, 12, and 7 in his last few games. He also has been a touchdown machine. I like Mixon the most here, Virginia, man. It's a run funnel defense at Kansas City. He has definitely been getting, the goal line work. This offense has been solid enough with Browning. I think I go Mixon. Now, these are all good options. The only one I can easily cross off is Hubbard, which probably means he's the best one to play, but I don't like Hubbard that much. A tough Jacksonville run D. So I'm going to go Mixon, though, is the final answer for me, Virginia, man. It's where I lean. And we've now hit another super chat. Scott Sanders, thank you. You guys are so generous. This is so greatly appreciated. In your championship weeks coming through for your boy. I hope I come through for you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support here. Scott Sanders Jr., need running back in flex in a PPR league. Scary Terry, Javonte Williams, Aaron Jones, and London. Man, good question. Good question indeed. I'm leaning Aaron Jones a little bit over Javonte here. Coming off a 21 carry, 127-yard day. Really, really solid day against Carolina. Now, Carolina gives up a ton of production to running backs, but that was just, to see 75% of the workload in back-to-back weeks. Minnesota's not the best of run D, but he can catch the ball. Obviously, Aaron Jones can. Then it comes down to the flex, and I want to love Scary Terry. I really do, Scott. If Jacoby Brissett was playing, I think it's a no-brainer, and you just toss in Scary Terry. We don't even think twice. I'm not going to play London. I'll tell you that much. I'm crossing him off the list. I know the ceiling is always there for London. There's no doubt about it. But any Falcons besides Bijan, especially the passing game options, good Chicago defense is playing better and better by the week. I don't want to trust Scary Terry if I don't have to, and certainly not when he has no Brissett playing. And even with Brissett, let's be only 5. Like Terry just has not been the guy. So I'm going to go both running backs here. I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I'm going to go Javonte Williams. He had 17 points out there last time, Javonte, against the Chargers. If Brissett was playing, I'd put Terry in. I wouldn't think twice. But we don't know that info yet. So I guess it goes Aaron Jones is the best option for the running back. Flex will come down to Scary Terry versus Javonte. And if Brissett's playing, then you go Terry. If he's out, then you go Javonte. Is how I would read this one. Scott Sanders. Robert Reed coming in with another super chat. Thank you, brother. Ayuk, Pittman, Ridley, Singletary, flex one flex, one receiver. To me, it's very easily Pittman and Ayuk. I don't want Beathard with the Ridley, tainting my Ridley experience today. And Singletary, again, like definitely solid. But even with like a full-time workload last week, you get Stroud back. So I know we can't go last week, and that's the numbers we can expect. Singletary's a top 24 running back. No doubt about it. A solid play this week. But what if they just air it out all day against a bad secondary? Stroud, rookie of the year. Let's bump those numbers up so we can maybe chase that, right? I'm not benching Ayuk against a secondary that's the worst in the league, most points allowed to receivers, and now is down the top two guys. Nope. And then Pittman, we talked about it a few times now. The first read target share is so high, and the coverage that allows that, the Raiders run more than anybody, despite not being a great matchup on paper for your wide receivers. That's a great spot for Pittman. So I'm benching Ridley. I'm benching Singletary there. Ooh. All righty. Thank you. Again, Robert Weed, for the question. All righty. And that, I believe, is the last of the Super Chats for now. We've hit over 30 Super Chats, guys. We have over 170 record-setting day here today at the Ruther Street Journal Sit Start Show. Thank you so much. That thumbs up button with over 170 of you here would help more and more people. We got another Super Chat right as I'm about to get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Eric Els comes in with another Super Chat. Thank you so much, Eric, for the chat. I have Hurts, Bijan, Rashad, Ridley, Collins, Schultz, Bills D, and Justin Tucker. I don't know who to flex between Zamir or Hopkins. Please help me. Love your lineup, Eric. The scoring settings would help here. But in all honesty, like a PPR is the closest this gap would get in a full PPR because Hopkins would come closer. And even still, I'm going Zamir. Top 4 matchup for running backs. 20-plus carries coming today against the Colts defense. That is a bad run D. They're better with their 2 D linemen healthy. I forget the exact. It's Buckner and one other. They are better with both those guys in, but they're still not great. I'm just going Zamir White. 20 carries, 100-yard touchdown. I think he's a great play today. Hopkins, revenge game narrative. Like if that game has the chance to potentially break out and shoot out. I see that too. But he's been so boom or bust, so up or down. The matchups are good for Hopkins, like the coverage shells that they run and everything. But I just like Zamir White too much today. I'm riding him today. Is where I'm leaning. Thank you so much for the super chat. For everybody, all the super chats you guys have been given today. Over 30 of them here. You guys are so generous. So greatly appreciate it. Oh, you guys are the best. Over 170 here right now with us. That thumbs up button will continue to help us grow and get out to more people. It would be so greatly appreciated. Thank you again so much for spending your Sunday morning with me. Let's continue forward. Now we'll play. I usually do sign off at 10, which would be in 10 minutes. I know Thursday we dropped. The internet was an issue. So I'll go an extra at least half hour today. At 10 o'clock, though, I am going to put a 30-minute timer on. I'm going to rapid fire through as many as I can get to, which might be everybody. I should be able to get to everybody. But you guys have been so generous with the super chats that it does slow us down. I want to take my time and give great answers to everybody willing to financially support us. So thank you again. Please do consider that thumbs up button. In about 10 minutes, we're going to do a 30-minute rapid fire, an extra bonus 30 minutes today for the championships. Try to get through every single question we can. But if you do super chat us, we will pause that rapid fire, just like Ovo Ant 6 just got a start too. Hubbard, Henry, Javante, Hunter, or Otten at tight end. All righty, Ovo, let's get it for you. Start 2. I'm going to go for the running backs. Definitely Derrick Henry today. I know it's risky. No, last time I went against Houston did not go so pretty. And that if they get up big early, it could be instant benching for him. And that would not be good. That all being said, it's not the best of run Ds. I think, Derrick Henry, maybe his last 2 games in a Titans uniform, they're going to try to feed this man the rock. So I like Henry today the most of these backs. Again, not in love. I'm minus a few spots ECR, but higher than the other guys. And then of the other 2, Hubbard versus Javante. The matchup is there for Javante, but what's this Stidham offense going to look like? I don't really know. The matchup's not great for Chuba Hubbard. Jacksonville, one of the bottom 10 matchups for running backs, but you look at his latest production, and he's been really, really solid here, Ovo. I don't know what your scoring is, but assuming it's half, let's call it half. 18, 22, 11, 11, 12 for Chuba, top 24 running back in all those games across his last 5. Since what's his name, Thomas Brown took over as the OC, just feeding the man 25, 23, 22, and 16 carries. I like it. I like the matchup for Hubbard. I don't like the matchup for Hubbard, but I like the volume a ton here. as good as the matchup could be for Javonte, I just don't know if that Broncos offense is going to look like if they're even going to sniff the red zone, and that's where you need him to make his money. So over 8, I'm going to go Henry and Hubbard. And then for the tight end question, it really depends. If Hunter Henry plays, I lock him in. I don't like Cade Otton. He's not a player I typically go to. If Gerald Everett's out there, I like him way more than both these guys. Huge Gerald Everett fan today with all those injuries there for the Chargers. If he's out there in any leagues, top 8 tight end play, by the way, for everybody out there. All 180 of you. Gerald Everett, great play today. I'd have him over either of those two, but assuming he's not out there, I go Hunter Henry if he's in. If not, I guess you only have Cade Otton left. You could go to him. It's the Saints have actually been pretty generous to tight ends, a top 8 matchup for the position this year. So, yeah, Otton could get it done. I just never really like using Cade Otton. I don't think he's a good player. Despite the consistent volume for him, I don't want to use him. So I'd go Hunter Henry if he's in. The only other guys I'd say, I saw Waller dropped a lot. He's a fringe top 12 guy in a great matchup today. But again, Everett's the one that's out there in a lot of leagues. I would check for Gerald Everett over any of these guys. I really actually like Juwan Johnson a bit today too. Hunter Henry I like more than all of them if he's in. So we'll have to wait and see for the injury report. He's been so hot all year. Gonzo, Happy New Year. I hate to see that, man. Thank you so much for the generosity. Sucks that you didn't make any chips. Damn. I hate to hear that. I'm in 3 out of 7 this year, so not a bad year. I wish I was not my biggest one, but my second biggest one, College League. So we're riding high, baby, this year. I wish we had you with us, Gonzo, but so generous of you to support your boy. I will gladly get a beer today, celebrating the new year, and I'll cheers to you. And, congratulations to you. I don't know if you ended up getting married quite yet, Mark. I know you got engaged recently. Don't know if the weddings happened. Let me know in the comments, what's the stats there. Or shoot me a text. You got my number. I can't wait to see you in Boston, though. Beer's on me next time to celebrate you getting engaged, getting married this year. So pumped for you, brother. Cheers. Thank you so much for your super chat. You're so generous. Happy New Year's indeed. Always appreciate you. You've been here since we had like 5 fans. So great to see a real one showing back up. I wish we had you in the chip this year, but I cannot wait to run into you again in Boston soon enough, Mark. And let me know if you've already gotten married or if that's coming up or whatnot. Shoot your boy a text. We can catch up today. Would love to see it. All righty, guys. That wraps up, I believe, the super chats so far. Thank you again. Such a generous day. Over 33 super chats. Whew, you guys are legends here. Let's get on back to the questions, which I think we were at Sean Finn, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah. No, we already did that one, Sean. So we did I picked Pacheco, Rice, and Puka because of the full PPR. Only time I'd go above Zamir White pretty much all day today. Pick 2 for Hawks, Achane, Eckler, half PPR. I'm benching Eckler out of that. And yeah, so you mentioned that one a couple times, Hawks. We got that one. Bench Kamara. I don't think so, Lucas. Depends what your other options are. And thank you for the super chats earlier, Lucas, as well. Zamir White, Isaiah Pacheco, Puka, Rashid Rice, Fincy. We got that one earlier. And we said bench. If it's full PPR, Zamir White. If it's half PPR, I'm benching Rashid Rice. Rich Costanzo. Need a replacement for Waddle. I have CD and Brees, so up big. Start T Sharp or Chig tight end for Tennessee. T Sharp. Do you mean T Spears? Who's T Sharp? I remember Tajay Sharp for a while, Rich. I don't think he's still in the league, and if he is, I'm going Chig ahead of him. I don't know who T Sharp is off the top of my head. Not gonna lie. So it means you probably shouldn't play him. But I would go like DeMarcus Robinson, Greg Dortch, DJ Chark, all guys I'd go above Chig. I don't mind Chig today, but I'd go, again, Dortch. I'd go DeMarcus, Dortch, Rashid Shaheed out there in a bunch of leagues. And then if not those guys, I would also look at DJ Chark and Darius Slayton. I don't know who T Sharp is, but those are all some guys you could potentially look at there, Rich. Hemdog. Need a wide receiver, a running back, and one flex from DJ Moore, Devonta, Aaron Jones, Zamir, and Zeke. You got some good options here, Hemdog. Thank you again for that super chat earlier. I wish I saw this. I would have got to you earlier, brother. For the receiver, I know the AJ Terrell concerns are real. I still think I go DJ Moore. Him versus Devonta is very close. I think you're probably flexing one either way, though. Zamir White's the running back play for me. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to go both receivers and then Zamir White in a full PPR league. I'll go double receiver and then White there. Bench and Jones. And I like Zeke this week. I do. It'd be Zeke versus Devonta for the flex if you wanted to get Zeke in there. Aaron Jones, I don't love this week. Minnesota's a tough run D. Bears or Broncos defense for Isabel. I'm going Bears myself. Very big fan of the Bears defense this week. Daniel Mansour, half PPR. Need to start 2 out of Singletary, Noah Brown, and Jeff Wilson. You have Stroud going as well. I love stacking up Noah and Stroud there, and I'm going to go Singletary over Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson's intriguing. Good touchdown. I love the touchdown props. They've probably gone up a ton since today, but I think he's an interesting touchdown prop guy. But I just stack that Houston offense and hope for a huge day against Tennessee. I can't go Jeff Wilson over Singletary, so I'm going to stack up Noah Brown, get Singletary in there as well. Tony Burkus, love it. Heavyweights is such a good movie. Half PPR, Z White or Pacheco. I am going to go Pacheco over Z White myself, Tony Burkus. Love both options today, but I'm going to go Pacheco. Mahomes or Stroud. Anthony, Super Chat one earlier. I'm still in a little bit of a blender. I think I'm going Stroud over Mahomes. I mean, since he's a great spot for Mahomes just to come out with 3 touchdowns, but we haven't seen that Mahomes all year. Is Mahomes even good anymore? I know that's not a real question, but I mean, I feel great about CJ Stroud today. I'm bumping CJ Stroud above Mahomes. I'm putting Mahomes down to QB8. I'm going Stroud. Rookie of the year chasing, baby. Let's go. Simp, Connor, London, Ridley, Demarcus Robinson, Bijan. Need 1 receiver, 2 flex, full PPR. For the receiver question, I'm going to go Ridley. And for the flexes, I'm going to go Bijan. And, I mean, call me crazy. I like Demarcus Robinson the most. Connor's definitely in a great spot. I mean, he's not in a great matchup, but 22, 17, 22. So that's 3. He's tough to bench here. So I probably would go Bijan, Connor, and Ridley. But I really like getting DeMarcus in today. I love DeMarcus today. But yeah, I'd go Ridley, Bijan, Connor myself, Simp. We had another super chat coming on in here. Thank you guys so much. So generous today. Virginia man with a second super chat. Thank you, brother. Cheers, man. Need 2 receivers, non-PPR. Jefferson, DK, Rice, J. Reed, Shaheed. Love your channel. Join this year. Thank you so much, man. And it's a reminder to everybody out there, if you enjoy the content, 186 of you. We'd love to have you. We're pushing towards 4K. I don't think we're going to hit it this year, but hey, another 20, 30, 40, however many of you want to join, we'd love to have you. We'll continue to pump out some Dynasty stuff, all that stuff in the off season. Please do consider subscribing, support your boy, help the channel grow. And please do consider that thumbs up button. Maybe we'll hit 200 today. 187. This is a record, guys. Thank you so much to have so many of you here today. Am I getting greedy? But hey, maybe we'll hit 200 live. If you like, you share, you retweet, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for being here. All these super chats, all the support. Sorry, Virginia man, I didn't mean to promote and pump during your question after you super chatted me, but you're love your channel. Join this year. It just reminded me, maybe we got to pump this thing a little bit more. Thank you so much, though, man. Really, really appreciate the double super chats here. Jefferson, DK, Rice, J. Reed, Shaheed. We need 2 non-PPR. It's one of those things where it's like, how do you bench Jefferson ever? But it is Jaron Hall. There's question marks here, whereas all your other options here, there's really no question marks to him. It's standard league too. It's Jefferson. Like any quarterback, and often as we see these garbage quarterbacks, just let's hurl it up to our guy and see what happens. I can't bench Jefferson. So I'm going to go Jefferson and Rice here. Rice just, again, the 12 targets last week, the 95% of routes for 3 straight weeks, 9 or more targets in 5 straight. I'm not benching that against Cincy defense. That's pathetic, right? So give me Rice, give me Jefferson. I love all these options. Virginia, man, these are 5 great receivers. I wish I could pick all 5, even down to Shaheed. I know he's the lowest of them all, but man, he's in a great spot against Tampa Bay today too. You got Reed as the clear number 1 now. With all the injuries around him against a bad Minnesota team. DK's on a nice bender, 5 touchdowns in his last 4 games. There's so much upside to all of these guys. But to me, I'm going Rice and Jefferson. Thank you so much for the support. Best of luck. I'm so happy you found us this year and that we've been helpful to you. Really means the world, guys, to have all this support. And it looks like we got one more super chat coming in from Gerard Q. Bijan or Zamir in the flex. Half PPR CMC Kyron. Oh, whew, Gerard, I don't even know if you need a flex because you have CMC and Kyron. You're just going to go bananas either way, right? That being said, I think you just need safety here. And I had Bijan a spot higher than Zamir because the upside's higher with Bijan. But there's a real chance that Bijan, we've seen Arthur Smith 2 weeks ago against Carolina, second best matchup for running backs. Bijan got 0 points because Arthur Smith. And I hate that guy. Another super chat just to get my rage out for how bad I want to boot Arthur Smith into the sun by his balls. Just kick him into the balls and send him flying into the sun. Like, I hate that guy. I can't wait to watch him get fired this year. He's such a pompous dick about it all, too. All right. Hatred for Arthur Smith aside, you just need safety because you have CMC and Kyron. They're going to combine for like 60 points for you, right? So you just want guaranteed points. Bijan has the higher ceiling. You don't need that ceiling today. You just need Zamir. You just need Zamir getting his 20 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown against the pathetic Colts run defense. That's where I would go. CMC, Kyron, Zamir, because you're in such a good spot. I imagine. Unless you face like CeeDee Lamb and St. Brown, you're like now in a 50-50 and you might need upside, then yeah, maybe you go Bijan. But for me, I think the safety of Zamir and 20-plus carries is better for your situation. Thank you so much. SoCal, I need to bench Zamir White, James Cook, Zeke, or Eckler. I'm benching Eckler. Best matchup for running backs. I get it. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year we'd be benching Eckler for Zamir White? I mean, come on, it's craziness. But Eckler just doesn't have the juice. This offense doesn't have the juice. It's one of those things where like a few weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, well with no Keenan Allen, it should all go to Eckler. And in years past, Eckler would get like 15 targets and go bananas. I don't trust him. As good as the matchup is against Denver, and he had 19 points out against them last time, so I get it. Could he go off again? Sure. This is his last 8 games: 6, 7, 4, 19, 6, and 10 points. Only one legitimately really good game. When you have really good options like Zeke, Cook, and White, I'm just not going Eckler myself. I can't trust it. Not me. Maybe I'm crazy. The one team he had the 19 points against was Denver, who he gets today. I get that, but that game just has disgustingness written all over it too. Give me White, give me Cook, give me Zeke. I'm benching Eckler there. Got Nico, Puko. Thank you again, guys, so much. We're up to 37 super chats. You guys are blowing my mind here today. Got Nico, Puka, and Cup. Start 2, full PPR. JJ's wide receiver 1. So yeah, I'm going to bench Cup here. It comes down to you're not going to double start both Rams and bench Nico, who's in a beautiful spot. Second most points allowed to outside receivers. Stroud's back. His number 1 receivers have been a just smash button cheat code all year. So Nico, yes. I think I was on a Puka versus Cup, and I go Puka myself. The only separating factor is one, Puka's just been hotter. He's younger. He's fresher. Cup he's had one huge game in the last 4 or 5, but just doesn't really look like Cup from last year or from years past. So I think Puka's kind of taken over that number 1 role. And even if not, against the defense that the Giants like to run, blitz-heavy defense, Puka averages nearly a 40% first read target share on blitzes. They just love getting it off to him, letting him do his thing against a blitz-heavy team. So you've got to imagine Puka's a huge part of the game plan entering today, David. So I'm going to go Nico. I'm going to go Puka. I'm going to bench Cup. Great receivers, David. Awesome situation. I wouldn't go both Rams guys over Nico Collins in a smash spot today. So awesome stuff. Another super chat. You guys are so generous today. My God. Thank you guys so much. The championships, the New Year's, people are feeling a certain way, but you guys are the best. I wish we could have been here Thursday. Maybe it would have been similar, maybe not, but Comcast. I should show them this. This is what you cost me, Comcast. Please pick 2. Curtis Samuel, DeMarcus, Rob, or Deontay. So Bulldog coming in with a tough one here. Making the championship, but has some receiver questions. I like DeMarcus the most. My favorite wide receiver punt play, Hail Mary, whatever you want to call it. Huge fan of DeMarcus today. The big play weapon against the Giants team, giving up a ton of big plays. I think that game has some real potential to go over and shoot out there. So I like DeMarcus. 4 straight touchdowns, 4 straight weeks. I'm plus 11 ECR on him. And I go Deontay. I mean, Mason Rudolph isn't necessarily his boy. Seems like Pickens is the one that really stands to benefit from Mason Rudolph. Only 3 points last time out for Deontay, but he just barely missed him on a couple touchdown throws. Seattle, much more generous to slot than the outside right now. The Woolen and what's the other one? They're decent outside corners, very generous to slot. I just don't love Curtis Samuel against the Niners, and I like Samuel. I do. And the Niners are been a top 12 matchup for receivers all year. Honestly, though, I'd consider Dortch over him. I go Rob and I go Deontay there for sure, Bulldog. Thank you again so much for the super chats. Alrighty, Wolfpack. Over 170 of you here, 180 of you here. We got greedy. I wanted to push for 200. We got to 190 at one point. Probably not going to hit 200 here. But I am going to rapid fire now so I can get to as many of these super chats as possible. We've had so many of you. You guys have been so generous here today. So we left off here We're at Daniel Mansour, Tony Perkis, and then Simp and Fincy. So we were at Stroud or Stafford for Cooptown. I'm going to pull up the timer here. We're going to go for 30 minutes. Go an extra bonus 30 because we missed our Thursday stream. I want to get through as many of these as we can. You guys have been so generous. If you want to cut the line, I'll pause the rapid fire for any super chats that come in. But one last plea again, thumbs up button, new subs, rotostreetjournal.com. I'll have the updated rankings done as soon as this stream ends. I'll push them through, get them published on rotostreetjournal.com. You can find me at rotostreetwolf. 30 minutes, start now. Start button hit. Let's get through as many of these, maybe the whole thing if we can. Stroud or Stafford? I'm going to go Stroud. Stafford's been cooking. Great matchup for Stafford, too. It's my QB 6 and 7. I'm going Stroud, Cooptown. Mr. Tyler J., you super chatted this one earlier, so we already got to that for you. Zamir, Cook, Achane, Pacheco need to sit one for Adam Silver, PPR. I am sitting, I guess this is one of the few times I would sit Zamir, but I really do love him today, Adam. But the PPR kind of puts it over the edge. Cooptown, Devonta, Pittman, Chase, T. Higgins, pick 2. I'm going Pittman is my favorite here, and I think I'm going T. Higgins. Devonta's really close, but let's see here. I'm going Pittman and Higgins. Wolf, champ matchup, thanks to you. Hell yeah, let's go, Hurley. Cup, Nakua, Chase, Kyron, Ty, Zamir, Singletary, pick 2 running backs, 2 receivers. I don't know what these U226s are. You're definitely playing Kyron. You're playing Zamir as the 2 running backs. You're playing Cup. You're playing Nakua, and I think Cup there. You're just doubling up, and then you're putting Zamir. You're putting Jamar Chase as the flex. I think is what we need. Krana Shah. I'm in the championship in a few leagues. Thanks, man, for the help. Absolutely, Krana. You've always been a regular here. We love to see it. Do you play? And then Suntel, you were asked this one a few times, but yes, I'm happy to play Bijan today. I think he's a fine play by absolute means. Need a defense this week since I can't trust the Eagles. I agree with you there. Rams, Texans, Jags, Seahawks. Same question. D for the LA. I like the Jags there over the Eagles for you, Krana. Love the match against Carolina. And then same question, D for another league. Bucks, Falcons, Vikings, Cowboys, Raiders. Cowboys already prayed, Krana, so that's not going to help you out. I go the Raiders of those remaining options myself. Need 2 PPR. Yellow Snow. Funny name. Yellow Snow. Devonta Smith, Henry, Walker, Zamir. I'm going to go Zamir, and I'm going to go Devonta Smith in a PPR there, Yellow Snow. Flex 2 PPR. Pickens, Shaheed, Douglas, Osborne, if no Addison, or Powell. Definitely not Powell. We're going to go Shaheed and Pickens there for myself, Krana Shah. Krana Shah, flex 2 PPR. Achane, Flowers, Warren, or Addison if he plays. I would go Achane and I would go Flowers, no doubt. Doesn't matter if Addison plays or not. Need a flex and a super flex for Kyler Toon, Jaron Hall, Jarrett Stidham, Mason Rudolph, Pickens, London, Douglas. I would go Pickens for the flex. I like Stidham the most of these quarterbacks, but I also see the appeal tunes of stacking Rudolph and Pickens and just hoping they go absolutely bonkers for you together because that's kind of what you need to win. But I think I go Stidham myself. Dave Lackmich, good morning. Appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Full PPR need 2, a wide receiver 2. Addison, London, Dobbs. Don't know if Addison's going to play. I don't know if I trust him anyways with Jaron Hall. So I think I would go London in this case. Also, pick 3, Kyron. I like Dobbs to score a touchdown tonight, actually. So I'm going to go Dobbs. Pick 3, Kyron, Singletary, Eckler, Madison, Zamir. Definitely Kyron. Don't ask questions about Kyron. Come on. He's the number 2 running back. It's not even a question, Dave. Zamir is my number 2 running back there. And then I would go Eckler over. I guess Eckler. Ben Schuler, Najee, Addison, Wilson Jr. I would go Najee very slightly over Wilson. I don't know if I can trust Addison this week. Ingram or Pitts. I'm going Evan Ingram. Beathard's actually a plus for Ingram so far. First read target share has been peppering tight ends. Then we got Justin Frank, Stroud or Baker. I would go Stroud myself. I like stacking Evans Baker, sure, but Stroud's just too good of a spot. Too good. Jeff, get a strap for your glasses. Yeah, that's a good call. I just got to get glasses that fit my friggin' head. How about that? Ronald Mikos, would you start Ravens or Broncos? I'm going Ravens myself. I'm a big fan of the Ravens defense. Evans or Pickens, or Evans or Nico. I'm going Evans over Nico, but man, that's a close one, G. Love them both. Rams, Philly, or Jags D. I would go Jags D there. Ben Schuler. PPR, Javonte, Najee, or B-Rob Jr. I'm going Javonte there. Kwai Lee. Rice or Reed in the flex full PPR. Definitely going Rice there. I love Reed today too, but Rice is just a top 12 no-brainer. We got that one for you earlier, Fincy. You had a bench one, and we said Zamir White in full PPR. What's up, Nicola? Pick 1. Joe Mixon, Zamir White, Ken Walker, Devin Singletary. I'm going to go Zamir White. I don't love Schultz. Gerald Everett's out there, that's who I would go. But otherwise, yeah, you can go Schultz. It's fine. Full PPR, Stroud or Mahomes. You super chatted that one earlier, Anthony. We said Stroud and we said Zamir. Kevin Murphy, Pacheco or Singletary. I'm going Pacheco myself. Happy New Year to you, brother. Ovo. Who would you start at? Henry and Javonte? I would go Derrick Henry, Ovo. Bjorn Rowland. Pick 2 running backs. Zamir Chandler, Ken Walker, third. Aaron Jones, D Swift. I'm going D Swift, and I'm going Zamir there myself, Bjorn. Adams, Metcalf, or Smith. Standard league, pick 2. Thanks. I would go standard league. I think I benched Devonta Smith. The others feel like better touchdown bets. Jonathan Taylor or Bijan? Jeff, I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor with no Zach Moss today. Unlawful boss. Mahomes or Purdy? I have Pacheco and against CMC. Ooh, tough stuff. I'm still going to go Purdy. Maybe that limits the damage. Plus, it's like if Purdy goes off crazy, CMC might be neutralized, or if he's catching a couple bombs, I stick with Purdy. I'm not letting the matchups throw me off. Hey, bro, who do you like? Half PPR for Ryan Baldinelli. Need 2 out of Achane, Pacheco, Zamir White, and Diggs. I would go, I like Achane and Pacheco, I think. I like that stuff for sure. Got to spend money to make money. Hell yeah, Lucas. Thank you so much again for your support. A bunch of super chats coming in today. Good morning, Morris McDonald. We're going to leave off at that. Emma Stephanos for the super chat. Thank you so much. Pick 4. Jaden Reed, Cup, Rice, Zamir White, Bijan. So we essentially just have to bench one of these guys. I'm locking in Zamir White, locking in Cup against the Giants, locking in Rashee Rice. And I think I'm going to go Bijan. I know that's a risky one because you got to trust Arthur Smith, which is always a concern. 0 points just 2 weeks ago against a great matchup against the Panthers. And I love Jaden Reed today, too. I mean, no other receivers potentially healthy, depending on how it shakes out with Wicks tonight. But I can't go Reed over Cup when Cup gets the Giants tonight, giving up a ton of big plays. Rashee Rice, I cannot bench, given that he's, a top 12 PPR receiver. He's been a wide receiver 8 across his last 4 games. He's been unbelievable, playing all the routes with Mahomes. Zamir White in an absolute smash spot against the Colts with no Josh Jacobs. And then Bijan, a really good matchup again. Today, he had 19. He's got 20 plus. He's got 19 plus, rather, in 3 of his last 4. I think Arthur Smith can't blow this one. And Chicago's given up the most receiving yards by like 3 times to running backs. That's Bijan's specialty. I think he's in a really good spot today. Emma Stephanos, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Showing up for your boy. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. So many super chats today. You guys are so generous. Very, very appreciated. All righty. Sad J. Cutler. My free question has been next for 20 minutes now. Super chat. Yeah, well, pay to get your question answered, Sad J. Cutler. Stop whining. Hey, cut the line. No, you're always here, Sad J. I appreciate you here. But yeah, I mean, if you're willing to support your boy financially, he's going to let you cut the line. That's pay to play. Good morning. Felix Tab. Good morning. Lockett or Gabe Davis? Ooh, 2 boomer busters. Like, I mean, this is a really tough one. Like, I wish I had something to give you a strong lean on either of these guys. Felix Tab, I personally do trust Lockett a little more. Just like he's hit. When Gabe Davis hits, he obviously hits it out of the park. But he's one of those guys that's just like, I don't trust at all. Whereas Lockett, in his last 3 games, he's got 12 in 2 of his last 3. He hasn't been great either. But it doesn't feel like a huge Gabe Davis week against the Pats. Maybe it is, but I can never really push myself to Gabe Davis. If Porter shadows anybody, it's probably DK Metcalf. Pittsburgh hasn't been an amazing secondary. Rudolph has been pushing that ball downfield too, so ultimately that game has a better chance to shoot out. So Felix, I like Lockett a little bit more than Gabe Davis in that one. Thank you again so much, guys. So generous with your super chats. Curving Lizard, Singletary or Achane? I'm going Achane myself. Curving Lizard, Houston or Raiders? I'm going Raiders. North Philly Mo. Who would you start? Etienne, Ty Chandler, Zamir. Need 2 out of 3. I would bench Chandler. I'd go Etienne and Zamir there. Start Pacheco or Zeke today? I would go Pacheco when Ding or trade Brad. I would trade and win. Start Diggs or Rice? I'm going Rice when Digo. Fields or Wendigo. Fields or Stroud? I would go. Ooh, this is a good one, Brandon. Stop me in my tracks here. I normally can rapid fire right through this. I think I'm gonna go with a Fields. They've been very generous to running quarterbacks. I think I'm gonna go Stroud though. It's great. I love them both, but I'm gonna go Stroud. Carr or Kyler Murray or Browning? I'm gonna go Kyler Murray there. Juan Pena Jr. Jags, Colts, Rams, or Raiders defense? I'm gonna go the the Jags, I think. Marco, Matthews, Rodriguez, pick 3. Zamir, Bijan, Zeke, Ty Chandler. I'm benching Ty Chandler of those options, Marco. Bears or Jags? I'm going Bears there, Curving Lizard. We got Gibbs projected, got me back yesterday. Yeah, set me back. That definitely was a setback. Still projected to win. Zeke or Chandler? I like Zeke over Chandler myself. We had a back pain super chat without a question, so that's going to be tough to find, but let me know if you see it. Thielen, Dobbs, or Shaheed. It was a 99 center, so I don't know. Thielen, Dobbs, or Shaheed. We'll look for that one, buddy. Back pains, but it was not, the question did not pop up. I would go Shaheed out of those ones with Digo. Huge upside against Tampa Bay. Have to sit one in flex. Taylor, White, Achane, or Kyron Williams. Oh, you super chat this one earlier, and we said I'm benching Taylor out of those, even though I love them all. Hard to play Jags, even though their Carolina matchup is nice over Bears. I like the Jags matchup for sure. I like them both. Full PPR. Pick one. Kamara, Connor, A. Jones, or Zeke. I'm going to go Kamara, and I'm going to go Colts defense there. I'm going Etienne, Achane, Z. White. I'm going Achane there. Super chat, back pain, second question. That doesn't help me, Campanelli. What's the question? Just copy and paste it. I don't know what it is. I have 500 questions I'm trying to dig through. And I appreciate the help, Campanelli. But I can't do that. So, alrighty. So let me know when you see it. Thank you, bro. You're welcome, Black Superman. Need 2 out of 3 running backs to start. Etienne, Zamir, Ty Chandler. To Maurice, you're getting close to timeout here. I bench Chandler, but repeats are going to go to timeout soon. Alrighty. We got the super chat question from Back Pain. Javonte or Connor, Scary Terry or D-Rob. Alrighty, let me work through that one. It looks like you did get a super chat to go through, Back Pain. Sorry about that. Let me pull that one up. Lose my place here. Back pains around 30. That's a funny name too. Truth of life for sure. Javonte or Connor, and Scary Terry or D-Rob for back pains around 30. Thank you again for the super chat. I would go Connor over Javonte. 20 points in 2 of his last 3 games, 22, 17, 20. Tough matchup, tough game flow. I just don't know what that Stidham offense is going to look like, so it worries me for Javonte. And then Terry versus D-Rob. If it was Brissett, it'd be a no-brainer. It'd be Scary Terry. Honestly, I think I'd ride the hot hand of D-Rob. 4 touchdowns, 4 straight weeks. Good matchup against the Giants. I wish Brissett was playing. I'd go Terry, no doubt. If assuming that it is Howell, though, I'm going to go D-Rob. I don't want to trust Terry with Howell. That has not been a winning combination this year. Alrighty, so we were at North Philly Mo. Goddard or Likely? I'm going to go Likely there, North Philly Mo. Good morning for Bulldog. I'm hurting on wide receivers. Thank you guys again so much for the super chats. We got one more coming in here. Rashawn Robinson, PPR, start 3. Evans, Cup, Pittman, Nico, or Achane. I'm going to definitely go Evans. It's my favorite. I'm definitely going Nico as my next favorite. And then I'm going to go Achane. Pittman's very close there. Cup is somehow the lowest of these. You got a great team here, Rashawn. These are all awesome options. But I love Evans, especially with no Lattimore there today. I think they can smash that team. I think Achane, again, we've harped on this, but 9+ touches, 28 points per game, 10+ touches, 33 points per game, 12+ touches, 38 points per game. The upside's astronomical with no Mostert today. And then Nico Collins, the best matchup for outside wide receivers, the second best in terms of points allowed. CJ Stroud's back. That's been a cheat code all year as number 1 receiver. I'm letting that one rip for sure is where I would go. Good morning, Wolf from the Bulldog. Hurting on receivers. Which 2 should I go? C. Samuel, Deontay Johnson, and Demarcus Robinson. Thank you. I would go. You super chat this one early. I said I'd go Demarcus Deontay. I have to sit 1 Swift, Taylor, Achane, Mixon. I would go. I think I'm sitting Mixon of those. I love them all. They're kind of. I got skipped. That was before Michael. Oh no, sad. You're crying about a free. Sad, you're always here. I don't want to make fun of you, but come on, stop being the entitled little baby. It's a free show. If you want to pay, you can jump the line. If not, stop whining. Come on, man. You're always here. You're a good dude. Relax, chill, dude. Raiders or Broncos? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna Raiders there. Bulldog. Mike Evans or Cup? For the Cup, I would go Mike Evans over Cup myself. Eric Richardson. He's just been so hot, and no Lattimore there. No scaries. Eddie 757 with another super chat. Thank you so much. You guys over 40 super chats. You guys are legends. They're annoying, says Sad J Cutler. You guys want to support your boy. That's annoying because Sad J Cutler has to wait. Like, oh my God, Sad. You're always a great fan. Stop doing that crap. Eddie757, full PPR, played, CD, flex. Nice. You got CD already. Huge bonus. You're already up big. I love that. Sets the context well, too. Thank you, Eddie. Flex, Chase, Swift, Connor, or Zamir White. Rest of the team is CMC, White, Amon-Ra. Whew. And you say it's CD and Amon. You're in a great shape here, Eddie. You've already got, 60 combined points from CD and Amon-Ra. You just need some safety. So as much as I like Jamar Chase here, you don't need the blow up. He's got the biggest risk of just kind of disappearing or getting hurt, or what if he's even out? Who knows? It comes down to Swift or Zamir White for me, because Connor against the Philly, as good as he's been, risk of getting game flowed, toughest matchup for running backs, even though the last couple of weeks they've been getting bled a little bit. But still, to me, Connor feels the riskiest of these backs. Swift gets Arizona 20. He's got 20 plus touches in 2 of his last 3. If you get 20 plus touches against Arizona, you go off. So I'm going to go Swift here. Zamir White, very, very close there for the rest of it. But man, what a team you've got with Nico, McBride, CMC. You're in a great spot. I don't want to jinx you, Eddie, but you are in a great spot. Vince, I see you super chatted $1. Thank you for the support. I don't see the question, so Campanelli will look for it. It's Stroud or Murray. I'm going to go CJ Stroud definitely over Kyler Murray, Vince. Thank you again for the super chat there. All righty. We were at Raiders or Broncos for Bulldogs. So we said that. We had the Mike Evans for the Cup. Gibbs set to be back. So I said Zeke over that. Lost Mostert in my flex. Do I go Zamir White, Zay Flowers, Brian Robinson, or Ridley? Definitely going Zamir White over Jeff Wilson. Zay Flowers would be the next one up for me. I like both those options a lot, but I'm going to go Zamir White myself, the figure report. There we go, Sad J Color. There you are. Thanks, Wolf. I hope you win your titles too, brother. Stop the whining, but thank you. Achane or Bijan? I'm gonna go Achane over Bijan myself, the figure report. I have no problem benching Diggs. Yeah, Superman, I agree. Like, he's just been complete ass these last few weeks. Achane or Zamir White, PPR. We got a super chat, so I'm gonna let that one go first. Standard, start 2, Chase, Pittman, or Zamir White. I would go, I'm benching Jamar Chase there. I think Zamir White and Pittman are just 2 good enough options that we don't need to absorb the risk of Chase. As good as he could be, the upside's huge. We've seen him blow up in championship weeks against the Chiefs before. He's been talking trash all week. You know the man's going to try to back it up too. I still can't bench Pittman and White. They're both in great spots. Pittman, the defense giving up the most first read target share. The coverage is something that Pittman has crushed before. And White getting 20 plus carries on the other side of that game. I love it. It has a kind of a game script for you there too, which I like. So I'm going there myself. And we were at no problem benching Diggs. So we were at Achane or Zamir White. I'm going Achane. Eckler or Zamir. I'm going Zamir. Keenan. Down big, need upside. 6-point passing TD. Tua, Kyler, Frank the Tank. I know the matchups here. Tua, Kyler, or Carr. I'm going to go Kyler there for sure. Philly, the best matchup by a mile. And I'm going to go Raiders over Denver defense myself. McBride or likely Vince, another super chat without the question. Vince, you got to get it together and get the question in with it, please. Thank you for the support. I don't want to berate you after you try to support us, but come on. 2 in a row. Santos, Fairbairn, or Sanders. I like Fairbairn. I think that's a great spot for a kicker. We've seen him boot 50 yarders throughout the year. That's where I'm leaning myself, Vince. Thank you very much for the super chats, brother. McBride over likely. Yes, definitely McBride over likely myself. G-Money, I love McBride. Like, sharing, sub people. My 5th ship in 6 years. RSJ equals championships. Giuseppe, you are a consistent wolf. You're always here. We love that. We help push you there, but you're a wolf yourself, my man. That is true, though. We got 170 here. I've got 11 minutes left on my rapid fire. Then I do got to get running and get my own leagues and some stuff set for the rest of the day. But 11 minutes. If you want to cut the line, the super chat's the way to do it. The likes, the shares, the retweets, all that stuff is so greatly appreciated, Wolfpack. Thank you again so much for being here. Please do consider hitting that thumbs up. 170 here. Would love you sub to out here. Super chat. Megan Bosak, miserable choice. At least you recognize it. You got some awareness here. Full PPR, Addison or Shaheed. I got to go Shaheed here. It's a tough choice. It's not miserable, though, because Shaheed gets Tampa Bay, who's giving up top 5 points, 2 wide receivers. It's not the best schematic. They play more zone that Shaheed does not typically destroy, but no Carlton Davis. I think Shaheed could light him up today. Whereas Addison, I don't know if he's even going to play. Then Jaron Hall is at QB, even if he does play. It all feels gross and thin. I'd rather go Shaheed. He's healthy. He's ready to go in a great matchup today. Addison would be in a good spot too with Green Bay down their top 2 corners, right? But I don't want to wait it out. What if he doesn't play? Is Osborne the next man up? And is that even fun? Go Shaheed. I like Shaheed against Tampa Bay. Blow up potential spot. Thank you again, Megan, for the super chat there. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. All righty. We were at Frank the Tank McBride over Likely. Then Giuseppe reminded you guys to like and sub. Would love that, people. Keep joining. We see so many new names here. Would love to have you. Projected to lose by 3, half PPR. Achane, JT, or Zamir. Ziggy Zig. It sounds like it's a close battle. I mean, I have Achane the highest. I think he's the highest upside play here. That is where I'm leaning. Virginia Man, DK, Mixon. Oh, you super chat this one earlier, and I believe we settled on Mixon in a standard league there. We do have a super chat coming through. So JS Enter Spears where we left off. Eddie, don't apologize. You super chatting us twice. Oh, you played against CD. Okay, I thought you had CD, but you already had Amon-Ra go. So you're not, entirely locked this thing up. But I don't. This is tough. This is now. It does get tougher. I don't think you need Chase because Swift has a ton of upside too. I know that it's a little capped because the tush push, right? But Arizona is so bad. He could definitely break a long one. 20-plus touches against an Arizona run D is better than Chase, in my opinion. It could be famous last words. I hate ever saying to bench Chase because that's where you could look like a complete and utter idiot, pie all over the face. He could have 50, right? There's very few players that have the upside of Chase in general, but banged up with Browning at QB, not a great matchup. There's a lot of red flags there, whereas like Swift, 20 touches, Arizona, wheels up. Like we know we're getting some points there, Eddie. So I think I am still going to go Swift there. It does, obviously, the context changes a little bit. Sorry, I misread that. Thank you so much for double super chat, man. So generous of you. Really, really appreciate it. But I personally would still ride Swift. You got CMC. He's going to get you 40. You had 22 from Amon-Ra. Nico's going to spank. Rashad White's a great play, a top 3 running back. You got a great squad. I would keep riding this one out. As good as CD was, I think you're in a good spot here, Eddie. So I'd keep riding that out. Thank you very, very much for the super chat. And James O'Shea coming in with a super chat. Thank you for being a man of the people. Thank you, James, for being here and supporting your boy with a $5 super chat. Cheers, brother. Half point PPR, pick 2. Chandler, Achane, Zeke, Pacheco, Z White. I'm going Achane. Again, I'll reiterate the stats for the super chat. For everybody else has already heard it. Here you go again. 9 or more touches, he's averaged 28 points per game. 10 or more touches, he's averaged 33 points per game. 12 or more touches, he's averaged 38 points per game. Could they turn the keys over to Jeff Wilson and he's the one that gets the 12 to 15 touches? Maybe. This is a huge game against the Ravens that could yield the number 1 seed for the winner here. So I think they're going to get their playmakers out there. They're going to scheme up Achane in space a bit. I love Achane today. And then I go Zamir. I go Pacheco over Zamir White very slightly. It comes down, this choice for me comes down to Achane, Pacheco, White. In case you didn't want the risk of Achane, you're worried about the light usage the last few weeks. And I understand that. I do. I personally would go Achane. That being said, Pacheco and White are very, very safe locks for 15-plus carries in good matchups as well themselves. I go Pacheco and Achane of these guys. James O'Shea, I love the Cincy matchup for Pacheco. I love when McKinnon's out. He takes over the receiving role. I think it's a great spot. Zamir White also, again, 20 touches against the top 4 matchup for running backs. Like that's going to be a good spot too. Achane, Pacheco, and White are all in good spots. I guess Achane probably does have the lowest ceiling of those 3, or the lowest floor, rather, the highest ceiling by a mile. Lowest floor. I'm playing the ceiling game in a championship week. I'm going Achane. I'm going Pacheco. Love the options. James, thank you so much for the support. We're up to 50 super chats on the day. You guys are legends. Happy New Year's to everybody out there. Thank you again so much for your support, guys. It really means the world. All righty, so we left off. We have about 8 minutes left here of the rapid fire, and then I do got to get out of here. But we will continue to roll through. I'm trying to find where we were last. We got a lot of questions today. I love this. But yeah, so we're probably gonna run out of time here. As much as I'd love to keep going here, Wolfpack, but I will continue to hit as many as we can before we run out. I just lost my place. So many great questions throughout the day here. All right, Eric. Sorry guys. I'll go an extra couple minutes for losing my place here. For you guys. Wow, where did we go? We really got to fire this rapid fire. So I'm going to go 5 extra minutes here, just to make sure I can get through as many of these. This is for Jay Spear. So we have about 100 questions after this one. You guys are amazing. I'm going to go JSN. Great matchup for slot receivers there. Nicholas Helen, Denver D or Rams D, half PPR. Barkley, Eckler, White, T. Hubbard need a running back. Flex, I'm going to go Denver D, and I am going to go Barkley. I'm going to go White for the running back. I'm going to go T for the flex there. Whatever White it is, whether it's Rashad or Zamir. I like him. Pray for my opponent, Rashad White, Devon, Achane, and Elliott for the chip. Let's go, Aftermath. Best of luck. I'm not praying for your opponent. I'm praying for you. Put on the title. Brian Jerkins, Stroud or Fields? I'm going Stroud. Achane or Singletary? I'm going Achane. Giuseppe. It means Devonta Smith. Cool. Oh, Smitty? Yeah, Smitty. So thank you guys. I forgot that question a long time ago. With Mostert out, do I pick up Jeff Wilson? You could, Chris Kelly, but it depends on who your other question might be. 2 out of 3, Zamir, Etienne, Ty Chandler need to start too. I'd bench Ty Chandler there, Maurice. Jags or Bears defense? I'm going Bears defense, curving lizard. Pick one defense, Colts, Raiders, Rams, Texans. I'm going Colts there, Keenan. Connor, London, Bijan, Ridley. Oh, we already did that one. Zamir White, full PPR. Devontae Adams for flex. Okay. What's your defense ranking? Check out RoastRejournal.com. All my rankings are there, Manny69. Z White or D Swift? I'm going to go D Swift there. Mahomes, Warren, Swift, Cup, Hill, Kelsey, Chandler, Javonte, DK, Pacheco, and Tyrod. Solid lineup. I think it's solid. Super flex. I actually kind of like Tyrod there too. I don't love Warren though at running back. Would you take Bears or Jags? Thoughts? Curving. I'm putting you in time. You're always here curving, but come on, don't stop repeating your freaking question. Full point PPR. Flex Higgins or Pacheco? I'm going Pacheco. Revolution. Chris Kelly. I need a flex between Wilson, Ingram, or Curtis Samuel. I'm going to go Evan Ingram there. Need 1/2 PPR. So do I. Zamir White or Nico Collins. I'm going to go Nico Collins there. Hi, Mucho. Eckler or Pacheco. I'm going Pacheco, Alec. Chandler, Achane, Singletary, White need to start. Oh, Robert, we got that super chat there from you. Noah Brown, Osborne, Dortch, or Cedric Wilson. I'm going Noah Brown. Dortch would be my next one up, though, Giuseppe. Legend, appreciate you, Boston Matos. Indeed. Renee, I'm putting you in timeout. I've seen that message like 8 times already. Mr. Trace Cinco. My boy Wolfpack, let's go. Let's get that ring. Thanks. Oh, thank you, Mr. Trace Cinco, for your kind message. Love it. Everybody else out there, 160 of you. Likes, thumbs up, subs, roastrejournal.com, Alistair Craft. Mark, you super chatted that one earlier. We said Ingram, and then we said Raiders defense. Achane, oh yeah, let's go. I'm with you. Robert, we got that one for you earlier, but we're doing White and Achane for the running backs. CJ's here to give you Jeff Wilson, Nico Collins, Kyron, and Etienne for 1 p.m. TDs. I like that bet a lot, actually. Plus 2,658. Solid stuff indeed. Maybe today I will get an answer. I need one for flex. Maybe today. NJ Dave for your asshole comment. We're not doing it. No, I'll answer you. I'll go Pacheco of those options. Start at full, but don't be a dick. Start at flex full PPR. Zamir White, James Cook, or DK Metcalf. I'm going to go Zamir White. I'm going to go James Cook there, Phantom. Thank you, oh great ball one, says Giuseppe. Flex spot, Nico Collins or Eckler. I'm going Nico Collins for sure, Ernie, over Eckler. Steelers or Texans D? Texans. I gave 5 in the last stream, but it was canceled. Bulldogs, so sorry about that. The internet, I kind of covered this at the beginning of the show. The internet issues, Comcast did not come through. I was on the phone from 3 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night with Comcast. I didn't get internet till the next day. I'm really, really sorry. I don't know if I can refund it. Thank you for the support. That's all I can offer. I'm so sorry. I can try to refund you if you give me your Venmo, if you really would like that. Buenos dias, Lobos. Feliz Año Nuevo. Indeed, Feliz Año Nuevo. Ridley versus JSN. Yeah, I would go Ridley over him. I wouldn't. You've been doing Ridley all year. You've been benching JSN all year. Keep it the same. That's what I would say. No, Nate Clark. Full pick PPR. I'll pick 1 receiver, 1 flex. I'm going to go Puka and Evans for sure. Scott Trainer. You're going to have to wait for a sec because we do get a super chat here. Krana Shaw. With Mostert out, options are Chuba, Zamir White, Taylor, Chandler, Eckler, QB Stroud. How do he do? I would go. I mean, I like Taylor then Zamir White as my next 2 options up there. Assuming that's Jonathan Taylor with no Zach Moss. I think he's in a great spot. And then Zamir White, though, is also in a really, really nice spot as well. And I think Stroud's going to kill it. Great spot. They're going to try to get the rookie of the year under his belt. So I really, really like CJ Stroud for sure there. But give me Taylor, then Zamir White as the 2 running back options for there. And thank you, Krana. Very, very much appreciated. Food, I'm having Chinese food probably, most likely for the New Year's. Manny, I don't know what your super chat is. It was Tyler Lockett or Noah Brown. I'm going to go Noah Brown over Tyler Lockett myself, Manny. Thank you for the super chat. My man Campanelli found that one for us there in the comments. Alrighty, so we were at Bulldog, and we were at half PPR. We're at Scott Trainer. Here we are. Atlanta need 3 running backs: Bijan Robinson, Achane, White, Chandler. I'm definitely not going Chandler. I'm going to go the 3 first running backs: Achane, Robinson, and Zamir White. Scott Trainer, my favorite. I like Noah Brown, but I like those other ones. I would go Bears over Jags. Zamara, White, or Achane. I'm going Achane. I said I'm going to go 5 extra minutes, so because we're in trouble for the question. Go 5 more minutes. So last call for any super chats, likes, retweets, all that good stuff. 5 minutes for your championship weeks. I'm going to go 5 extra because I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. All righty. Okonkwo or Waller? I'm going Waller there. Blue knockout. I have Broncos over Dolphins. Collins or Jay Mixon in the flex. Nico Collins for me, Nando. Singletary or Zamir White? I'm going Zamir White there. I'm going Mike Evans definitely over those other ones. Come on, Blue knockout. You know that for sure. You're starting them all. I love to hear that, Mitch. Good stuff. I think all those guys are great. So just thank you for the support then. Just to toss your boy $5. I appreciate it. PPR, Schultz or Okonkwo? I guess Okonkwo. I don't like either. Chase or Devonta Smith? I'd go Devonta Smith, Josh Winfield. Sorry, I had to face CD last night, Mitch. That sucks. I'd go Stroud. So close. That's my QB 6 and 7 right there. But I like them both. Ayuk, Pittman, C. Ridley, Chandler, Singletary. Need 1 flex, 1 receiver. I'd go Ayuk and Pittman at the flex. I would go. All you people asking us, guys, if I fuck off. I'm gonna just ban NJ Dave. I answered too many of his questions. Delete his comments. Am I crazy to flex Zamir White over Bijan, or am I getting cute? It looks like we did have a super chat, so I'm going to go to that right now, Gerard, and I'll come back to you. Ozzy C. Have PPR, Nico Collins or Olave, and White or Zeke. Oof. Definitely going White over Zeke, whether it's Rashad or Zamir. Probably Zamir. I'm going to go Zamir over Zeke myself. I'd go either White, though, over Zeke. Olave versus Collins is very, very tough. I love the matchup for Olave. He's a little banged up. Love the matchup for Nico. He's a little more healthy. CJ Stroud throwing to him. I think I'm going to go Olave, though. Tampa Bay is just being absolutely murdered, and they have no Carlton Davis today. Olave's been on an absolute tear these last few weeks. So I'm going to go Olave, and I'm going to go White for you there, Ozzy C. And then 275. 3 of Barkley, Achane, Connor, and Etienne. Half PPR. I would go Achane. I'm benching Connor of these. The tough match against the Eagles, fewest points allowed to running backs, plus game flow sensitive. What if they get up big, which they probably will? Then it becomes Michael Carter for whatever unknown reason. So yeah, I'm gonna go Barkley. I'm gonna go Etienne, and I'm gonna go Achane. If you wanted to go Connor over Etienne, honestly, Etienne with Beathard and that just feels sketchy. I get that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Etienne, Achane, Barkley. I worry the most about Connor of your 3 options here. 275. Thank you very, very much for your super chat. Greatly appreciate it, Ozzy. 275 over 54 total super chats. Great stuff indeed. Alrighty, we were at here. Gerard is where we left off. Am I crazy to flex Zamir over Bijan, or am I getting too cute? Have CMC Kyron? I don't think it's crazy at all. I think that's why running back 2 or 3. I think because you have those 2 safe options at CMC and Kyron, I'd probably play Zamir White and keep it safe. I'd go Fairbairn for the kicker. We have another super chat, full PPR, Achane, Barkley, or Rice. I'm going full PPR. I'm going to go Rice there. Lock him in. I love Achane. The upside's so big there. Again, I'll just repeat the stat one more time for those of you that have not heard it yet. 9+ touches, 28 points per game. 10+ touches, 33 points per game. 12+ touches, 38 points per game is where. So I love that upside of Achane. If you need that complete injection of upside, you could go with him. But I like Rice today with too much. Justin Franks, I see you super chat. I don't see a question for your dollar super chat, so I don't know where that is. Maybe Campanelli will find it. For Hopkins or Zamir. So you super chat this one, and I said Zamir. And I like the 2 receiver choices. Although you could consider Hopkins over Ridley. You could be worried, conscious, but you're asking about the chat. So I would play Chase over all those guys. Start 3, K. Will, Bijan, Achane, Kamara. Definitely playing Kyron Williams. I would play Achane as the next one, and then I would play Kamara. I'd bench Bijan there. Apologies if I already asked. As guess it's very Snead dependent. Eagles versus Chiefs defense. I'd go Chiefs defense, I think. I don't like any of them at all. Either of them that much, but yeah, I'd go Chiefs. Start 2, Ridley, London, Rice, Judy, JSN, Noah Brown, Dobbs. I would go Rice for sure, and then Ridley, very close over Noah Brown there. And then we had the Justin Franks, Jeff Wilson, Gainwell, Foreman, or Brian Robinson. This is one where I would go Jeff Wilson, Justin Franks. I think he's a decent bet to score a touchdown, and I don't really like any of those other options. So, yeah, that's where I would go. All righty, Wolfpack, we already went 5 minutes extra, so I will be signing off at this point. Thank you again so much. 150 here on your way out. Please do consider hitting that thumbs up. I'm going to be pushing through my rankings update right as we sign off. You can find that at rotostreetjournal.com. I'll post at the top post-ranking show update so you guys know that you got the freshest rankings. So check out rotostreetjournal.com. You can find me at rotostreetwolf. Thank you again. So much support today. You guys are so appreciated. Khalid, I see you super chatted, so I won't sign off without getting you. D. Moore, Noah Brown, or D. Robinson. I got to go DJ Moore. I know the AJ Terrell concerns. It's real, but he's been too good. He averages nearly 22 points per game with Justin Fields at QB. So I can't bench him for those other options. As much as I like both DeMarcus and Noah Brown, I think both are good options. I think DJ Moore is too good. I cannot bench him based on that rapport with him. But thank you again so much, guys. So many new names. Would love to have you join. Subscribe to the Wolfpack. We'd love to have you here as we continue through some off-season great content coming up your way. We climb towards 4K. We almost hit it. We'd love to have you guys for the future. Thanks again so much. Best of luck today. You guys are awesome. Cheers. Such a great season. Happy New Year's to you all. Smash the like. Come on back. Smash the sub. Best of the new year. 2024 started off with some titles, Wolfpack. And a wolves for the fancy sheep guys. Be those wolves. See you guys in 2024. Later.